weekend. It is learn how to do the thing that nobody on planet Earth wants to do: sell your services. That's what we're going to learn to do today. I'm going to debunk a lot of things. I'm going to share some insights with you from a very special training I'm at right now myself here in Fort Lauderdale. I practice what I preach. I invest in my own education. I'm working with the top sales trainer in the planet right now, a guy called Grant Cardone, for the next couple of days. So it's good to be here. I am literally halfway through a boot camp with him. So I'm going to share some stuff with you that I've learned over the last day and a half, as well as some tried and true principles of what it takes to just get better at communicating with patients so that they want to pay your out-of-pocket fees, the big challenge that many people are living with right now. So it's great to be here. This is my favorite topic in business, how to sell the value of what you do. What is the point, I ask, of having value if you don't know how to sell it? Surely it has to be the biggest sin on earth that if you have value and you can't sell it, nobody wants to buy it from you. It must be the most frustrating thing on planet Earth. If you have wonderful PT skills, nobody appears to want to buy them from you. Type into the chat if you can resonate. Tell me who you are, tell me where you're from. We're going to have 500 of you on in the next few minutes. Let me see, who else? Bill. Type into the chat where your clinic is and where you are coming in from right now. This is the last of our live events this year that we will be doing. Dean is in Charleston, PT clinic owner and an online business. Come on, type into the chat, please. This is not just a place for you to consume. It's a place for us to learn and interact with each other. Let's make this really fun. So we are in Italy, one of my favorite places. Love it. Jared from Baltimore clinic is in Frederick, Maryland, in the Bay Area. So happy to learn from you. Thank you, Marcy. I can resonate with that. Multiple practice owner, brick and mortar in Cincinnati. Paula from Boston. We're in South Africa with Jason. Peter is in Hawaii. Bill is in Raleigh, North Carolina. Wesley is in Northwest Arkansas, Colorado Springs. Mario, we're in Calgary, Canada. Mark is in the northeast of England. Good to see you again, Mark. Veterinary brick and mortar cash only clinic. Morning from Pasadena. Hello, Emma. Mark is in Pittsburgh. Snehal from New York says hello. So we're all over the world. As usual, we're all over the world. Look, it's incredible. I'm deeply grateful. Many of you first time, I'm sure, on a webinar with me. Many of you returning. I can see some familiar faces. I am deeply grateful for your addiction to my work. That's all I can say. I'm deeply grateful for your continued addiction to my work. I want you to know I'm continuing to learn. I'm continuing to study in everything that I preach, if you like, on my trainings, on my podcasts. I am doing for myself, which is very important. I think that you know that there are a lot of people that you could choose to be mentored from these days, and to get close to somebody that is actually doing everything that they're teaching, I think is vitally important. So first thing that I want you to know about me, I'm an avid learner, but I'm an even more relentless implementer of things that I learn, and that's often the difference. So we're going to talk through some ways today for you to see this challenge that you might have called selling. Whichever way you face up to it, it is selling. Please do not think for 1 second that it is bad, it is wrong, it is something that you should be doing. That is just something that poor people will tell you. Please write that down. To think that it is wrong to sell is just something that poor people will tell you. Simple as that. All right, I'm throwing out all of the myths and all of the dogma and all of the false beliefs today. I'm going to chuck every single one of you under the bus, or every single one of them under the bus, because for most of you, it's all that stands in the way between you having much more impact and, let's face it, making a shitload more money that you deserve to be making because of the commitment that you've made to yourself and to your clients, and to the debt that you're probably in as a result of an over-expensive PT school system, ridiculous student loans who want to siphon money from you every single month. I firmly believe that you should be making 10 times more money than your whatever you're charging right now. And I'm all in favor of you not just being a successful private practice owner, but a rich private practice owner. And if people don't like the fact that you make a shitload of money from helping a crap load of people, fuck them, is what I quite simply will have to say. Great phrase this morning from Grant Cardone. He said something along the lines of, most of us are brought up, the way that we're brought up, we're told to not talk about money. So it's a false belief. It's like the idea is passed down from your parents that it's wrong to talk about money. It's almost as if there is some sort of real negative connotation attached to speaking about money. And because many of us are taught that, myself included, don't speak about money. We don't speak about money, and therefore that's primary number one reason why we don't have any money. That simple. Think about it. If you talk about abundance, invariably abundance comes your way. If you talk about money and what it takes to be successful with money, guess what you are? Successful with money. If you talk about what it takes to be a good PT, guess what you invariably become? A good PT. It's not rocket science, all of this stuff. Sadly, we're just conditioned by many false beliefs that are passed on from years and years and years ago, when they may have been relevant back then, but in today's society, they really, really aren't. So I'm glad that you're here with me. I'm going to talk about selling. I'm even going to sell to you. Heaven forbid that I teach you how to sell, and in the process, I sell to you as well. So we're going to have a lot of fun this afternoon. We're going to debunk a lot of myths about money and prices and just what it takes to really sell your services. If you don't like the talk of money and you don't like being sold to, I'd politely ask you to leave the webinar right now, because you will hit every second of this next 2 hours together. I'm going to talk to you about selling value. I'm going to show you how to sell. I'm going to talk a lot about money. I'm going to talk a lot about making profit. And I don't really give a shit if there are people on here who think that that's wrong in healthcare, because what I think is wrong in healthcare, for people to go to PT school, rack up $200,000 in debt, and then have to struggle for the next 30 years. That is fucking wrong. Not selling your services, not picking up the phone to patients and speaking to them in a manner that might get to the root cause of what their objections are, so that when they are exposed, we can actually sell them a vital service. That is not wrong. To struggle for the next 35 years of your life by undercharging, by constantly worrying what people think about you, is wrong. Please write that down. First and foremost, let's get that out of the way. Selling, not wrong. Living 35 years, no money, wrong. That's not good. That's not what any of us went into private practice for. So I'm going to say it again. If you don't like the talk of money, you don't like the talk of selling, you don't like the talk of you making a shitload of money, you think that that's wrong, you've got any real issues with wanting to make more money for yourself, you will fucking hate every single minute of the next 2 hours. And I would encourage you to leave the webinar as fast as possible. And for everybody else, let's talk openly, let's talk honestly, and let's talk about what it takes to actually get you the financial rewards and returns that you truly deserve as a result of the commitment that you've made to yourself, to your families, and to your community. Is there a way to keep it PG, please, Christiana? Probably not, is my, again, brutal, absolute, honest answer to you. Paul is Paul. Occasionally swear words come out of my mouth, and for me to be anything else is truly unauthentic. So I'm sorry, Christiana, I can't help you there. You could just sit in another room, perhaps, or ask the children to sit in another room, maybe, one of the two. Possibly the easiest solution to it. Who knew? Anyway, right, what else have we got? Lot going on. Looks like we've got over 500 people on, so we're good to go. We've oversubscribed again, so please stay. Don't leave. If you leave, you most likely won't get back in to the webinar. In fact, I'm getting an email off Amy right now saying we're getting a few complaints. Oh shit. All right, we're getting some complaints because people are locked out. Right, there's nothing I can do. Please just stay on, or obviously if you don't like my language or you don't like the talk of money, please feel free to give up your seat. So let's get going. Right, selling. How to convert people who are reluctant to want to pay out of pocket. Share out on social, if you would, please. At the Paul Gough. Take a screenshot, tell everybody that you're here, tag me in on Instagram, make sure you are following me there. Tag me in on the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the Twitters and whatever else that you're on, and I'll respond to you tonight. We'll have a lot of fun, and we'll talk about what has really impacted you via this training. So let's just be 100% certain who this is for. It's not for everybody. It's specifically for people who dread hearing the words, do you take my insurance? Who's ever had, or in the last 7 days, I'll get back to you. I'll think about it. I'll let you know. I'll think about it. It's great, isn't it? It presupposes that they're actually going to do any thinking. My goodness. For somebody to tell you that they're going to think about it, I mean, come on. When was the last time that people actually think on this planet? Jeez, and we're accepting this shit from patients? Could it be that they're just a little frightened? Could it just be that they're just a little scared and they're coming up with anything that they can because they know they're getting close to making a decision and actually committing to you and spending some money and time with you on actually getting a solution? Well, the answer is yes. I'll think about it. Well, how are you going to do that? When? You won't. We know that they won't. I'll get back to you. We know that they won't get back to you. You are worried about raising prices, but losing patients if you do. Here's my favorite. I'm unhappy in my business. So check this way of thinking out. I'm really unhappy in my business right now, and I'm not making any money. And I'm really pissed, and I have been for months. Life is not good, but I daren't raise my prices in case I lose the patients who are keeping me from being happy. What is this planet that we're living on when people are thinking like this? I'm not happy with my business. I'm not happy with the profit it's making. Most of you are probably not even happy with half your customers because they give you so much crap. And yet, we daren't raise our prices in case we lose them. Could it be that that's actually the solution to the problem? I wonder. Who knew? You are frustrated at your staff's inability to sell in the same way that you can. Anybody had that frustration? Anybody, said differently, anybody on here got every single person of staff in their office on board with selling the value to every single patient? If you know how to do that, please let me know. Not confident enough to truly sell the value of what you do. And if you were, maybe you would be more profitable. Who can resonate with that one? Is this a confidence thing? I wonder. In fact, I think I wrote a book on it, all about the idea that really what most of us suffer from is the confidence to sell what we've got, because it's been hammered out of us by people around us who tell you not to sell yourself, who tell you that selling yourself is wrong, who suggest that you go to university for 7 years and get into $200,000 worth of debt. That's a good idea. But selling the value of all of that, that's not a good idea. And guess who's telling it to you? People who are probably more broke than you. That's wonderful. Another thing that I've observed in life, people who don't want me to do shit, usually they're significantly less happier than me, significantly less well off than me. Like they're always quick to tell me not to do things. Fabulous when you start to open your eyes as to what's happening in this world right now. So you're confident enough. Maybe you are there's a little swagger going on. You are a little blasé. You don't give a shit what anybody thinks. This is the price, and the price is the price. There's those people out there as well. But maybe you just lack the skills and the focus and the strategy to do it right. How about this one? Your marketing is bringing in new leads, but your conversions are shockingly low. What's the difference between a good marketing campaign and a bad marketing campaign, I hear you ask? Conversions. Don't need 25 people to respond to my newspaper ad. I only need one. If the newspaper ad costs me $300 and I convert that one phone call and he or she spends $3,000 with me, I've got a 1 in 10 return on my investment. I won't get that in the stock market right now. I certainly won't get it in the bank. All different ways of looking at your business. So what is the name of the book about selling and confidence? It's called To Sell is Healthy. To Sell is Healthy. Available in all good bookstores. Who else is this for? Traditional insurances businesses. We're watching this now, so we're very privileged to work with over 430 businesses around the world. And you know who's struggling the most right now when it comes to conversions? Traditional insurance businesses. Why? Because they don't think that they have to. They think that because the doctor has referred them, the patients are just going to roll over and spend money. They usually have somebody on the front desk who was not bad at dealing with this situation 5 years ago when co-pays were $5 and $10. But now that co-pay is $70 and deductibles are upwards of however many thousands of dollars, there are problems. And I am watching many insurance businesses really struggle right now, primarily because they're not facing up to that fact that the person on the phone isn't skilled enough to deal with money. If any of you listened to my podcast yesterday, it's already the most listened to podcast I've ever put out, which is pretty much exposing now how bad these front desk phone calls are. It was nothing short of horrendous, and they only wanted $80 for a cash pay session. If you are not familiar with my podcast, check it out and go listen to yesterday's episode. It's called Pranked. After this webinar, I invite you to listen to literally the state of how this phone is being answered, that it is costing most of you a small fortune. And you might think that it's not that bad and you're not that bad, but I beg to differ. I've never met a business owner yet who's really honest and critical with themselves about how bad the phone is actually being answered. And that's why they're losing so much money. So you're a new cash business and you are so frightened about losing any of the inquiries that you are getting that you are forced to charge such low prices. You're forced to almost roll over and just beg somebody to give you money. Common scenario for people at the start of their journey. I get it. I've been there. You struggle to get people to commit to a full plan of care, so they might say yes to 1 or 2 sessions, but we just can't get them to complete the 9 or 10 that they really need, that you know if they have, their life would be significantly better. You'd get more happy customers and you'd get more referrals as well. You are an out-of-network clinic, and keep hearing, I want to talk to my insurance first. So type into the chat, let me know, what are you here for? I'm sure you're not here because you've got nothing else to do on a Saturday afternoon. So type into the chat, let me know, why are you here? What is your biggest frustration? Would love to know. Type into the chat. Is it those fucking insurance companies? Is it the just patients won't see the value in what you do? Are you getting hammered down so low by those fucking insurance companies that you just cannot make a profit? Is it your front desk person who just refuses to do anything that you've taught them to do? Is it your phone people who are just costing you a fortune? Type into the chat. So let's get clear on it. Is it conversions? Or is it the way we're answering the phone? Is it that we haven't got the right people? Is it that we haven't got the right skills? Selling plans of care and then wellness, says Justine. What else? What else have we got? Come on, everybody type in. Let's see everybody typing into the chat. Very uncomfortable with the same pitch. Well, that's the effect. That's not the cause. So I'm going to help you separate cause and effect. Tired of being too expensive, says Bill. Front office not having a sales background. Correct, Nathaniel, that's on you. Convincing a client to pay 2 or 3 times the going price in the area. Teaching my staff to convert the patients my marketing brings in. Love it, Lindsay. Phone, email, in person. New business who wants to not be in network. Who else? Nancy. Front desk don't know how to sell. Pricing. No, I'm screwing up on the phone, says Tyler. Struggling with preeminence. New niche cash business. Getting hot leads to answer the phone. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Right, let's go. So here's what you're going to learn. How to raise cash rates above 250, something called the priming effect. You'll be able to start using this on Monday morning. 7 common objections and how, and really what they all mean. I love to teach the principles. The mechanics are good, but the principles are genius, and it's a great way of understanding. Pretty much everything that I teach is at the principle level. I try not to get involved too tactically. The principles are where the magic and where the money is made. 5 steps of a system that you're going to need. 3 questions for a complete plan of care. How to overcome the fear of selling, and how to increase your sales by 100% by doing just these 3 things. Right to the end, you've got to stay for a amazing tried and true way of responding when they say, I want to hire you, but you're just too expensive, Paul. So here's something I want to share with you, just to give you an idea of what it's like to come to these types of seminars where I'm here for 3 days. It was a $3,500 ticket. I'm staying in a JW Marriott that's going to cost me $1,000 for the 3 nights, and I flew down, which is another $500. So I'm $5,000 in this weekend. Okay, I'm $5,000 in the hole, if you like, for coming to learn about how to sell and convert from somebody. Now, aside from an entire page of notes, and I'm only halfway through the event, and I'm already probably at least 15 things that are going to get actioned in my businesses on Monday, both of my businesses, my physio business and my media business. I want to share this one with you because it's the most profound. I'm trying to show to you that I think so many people currently believe the way it is the way it is. That the way that they are answering the phone is the only thing that they can do. That patients can't and never will pay anything differently, and you just think that that's the way it has to be because it's your area or your town. What I'm about to teach you is getting actioned in my clinic on Monday morning at 9 o'clock. And this will be, if you call my clinic on Monday at 9 o'clock, how we answer the phone to you. And I'll talk to you about the psychology of why it works and why it will work, undoubtedly, and it'll cut out a lot of crap. And it will get very quickly to people booking appointments. But more importantly, I want to emphasize the point, the bigger point that shouldn't be lost on anybody in business. Investing in yourself and investing in coming to these types of things is non-negotiable unless you want to keep getting what you've got. This happened to me at, I think it was 10:15 or 10:20 this morning. I learned this at 10:20 this morning, and it will be in my business at 9 o'clock because I can understand very quickly how this will get me more appointments and more conversions on the phone. So if you think of the traditional way when we answer the phone, we're usually very polite and we're very nice, and it's the traditional. Even in my business right now, it's good morning, you're through to Paul Gough Physio Rooms. My name is Vicky, or Becky or whoever. It's lovely speaking with you. How can I help? Now, the problem with that, as I now know it, because I've just invested however many thousands in figuring this out, is it opens up a very vague dialogue. It doesn't take me to the point. It leads itself to being open to a patient asking, how much do you charge? You ask them the question, how much do you charge? That's what they'll say. If you say to a patient, good morning, you're through to the physio rooms, how can I help? Yeah, I'm just after some information. Okay, that's why for many of us on the phone, that's where it goes wrong. We've lost it very, very quickly. So check this out. Check this out. This is the magic for you. But more importantly, please understand that I was only able to acquire this type of information by being at these types of events. Here we go. Hello, it's Vicky at Paul Gough Physio Rooms. How soon would you like your appointment to take place? Oh, my goodness. My goodness. My word. Poetry. Absolute poetry. There is nothing that the person can say on the phone except as fast as possible in the next few days. Great. Let's get you scheduled. Let's get you going. Instantly to the heart of a conversation. And even if at that point they turn around and say, oh, before I book, I have some questions. And at which point your front desk will say, great, which one is most important to you? You're about to find out what their real objection is about moving forward with you. It gets you to the heart, and all sales and conversion success comes from this type of conversation where we actually get to talk about the real problems that are. Only one of two things can happen here. A patient says, I want it as fast as possible, or in the next few days, please sign me up. Or they will say, I have a few questions first. And you will say, which one is the most important that is currently stopping you from booking with us? Because when I know that, we will have a conversion. So there you go. A little bit of magic. That's going to be my business on Monday morning. Route straight to the heart of the challenge in your business. So for full transparency, I'm going to be selling you a ticket to a sales boot camp at the end of this training. It's going to take place December the 7th and 8th. So check out your calendar, start canceling things now. We're going to have, I think, 75 people come into or 75 different businesses. We normally end up with about 100 in the room. We'll have 75 different businesses there again this year in Orlando. So stay right till the end. I'll tell you about that and how you can work with me on these types of things and your peers in a very sunny Florida in December. So I wanted to put that out just to let you know for full transparency. We'll be doing that towards the end. But we've got about a good 90 minutes together before we even get there. I promise you a lot of value, a lot of fun, and without doubt, at least 3 or 4 or 5 things that you're going to be able to put into your business on Monday morning. And then if you think, you know what, I like this guy and what he's got to share with me, imagine what he could teach me in 2 days. Come on down to Sales Bootcamp and bring your staff with you, and we'll put all of this to bed for you once and for all. So why now? Resistance is high. Patients are more skeptical and confused. PTs are putting so much emphasis on marketing. They are forgetting that you do still have to sell the value of what you do. Getting better at sales and conversions gets you more confident with increasing your marketing. What does that mean? Again, very strategic. Many of you are probably holding back from marketing because anything you've tried in the past only got you a few leads. Well, just imagine if you could convert those leads. Most of the money you want is currently being lost in the phone call and conversion handling process. All of us, myself included. I am teaching these principles and living by them, but it could still be better. I'm still losing money every single day because it can be better. There is always a better way to answer the phone. So unless you have belief in yourself, never be able to handle the objections or convert patients at the level that you need. When people complain or object, check this out. Understand this for any of you with problems over this. When people complain or object, they're programmed to do so. You think it's just happening to you. And that's where, for any of you with confidence issues or self-belief issues, picture how you feel in the moment when somebody objects to you. You think that it's you. You think that you're the problem, and you're not. You're not the issue. The issue is theirs, not yours. That's how you instantly stop worrying about what you're selling or what people think of you. They are programmed to do it. Nobody wants to pay anything for anything. Whatever the price is, everybody is programmed to wish that it could be less. Even my sales bootcamp, $3,200. I'm sure a few of you are thinking, you know what, I wish it was just a little bit less and I'd go. Like, that's your first reaction. That's what everybody does. Doesn't matter what we're selling. That's how people buy. That's where it all starts. So you need to know how to handle it. Despite objections, people still buy if you know how to handle the objections. The price is always too high for everybody. Write that down. So amazingly, because unlike marketing, sales requires 0 additional expense. Therefore, it is the quickest and fastest way to boost your profits. I think for every one of you 500 on here, there won't be a faster way to boost profits. It just isn't possible in any business because we don't have to spend any more money with marketing. With marketing, we have to spend maybe it's a few $1,000s to get some extra leads. With sales, even if you're getting 1 inquiry a week right now that you can't convert, and you figure out how to do that, you're potentially going to add $35,000 to $50,000 in your profit at the end of the month. So he's out to add $77,000 to your business. And it's why I say that most of us are just 1 skill away from all the profit that you want. So even if you get 2 inquiries per week that you currently don't convert, converting just 2 who would otherwise go elsewhere, or just convert 1 of the 2, could bring a minimum of $77,000 profit. So I'm going to leave you to look at that, because it's, again, we're often so in pursuit of things, and a lot of us spend time doing busy work, and I put that out on a podcast recently that most of us are just through the day we're tired because we're just doing more and more work, but we're not necessarily doing work that is going to actually create money. And having a more robust marketing system and ability to convert more of the people that we've got, rather than accepting that it's just a USA thing. The phone call the other day on my pranked podcast was horrific. The guy was like, "Oh, in the USA," as if everybody in America has a problem, and he was only charging $80 for crying out loud. But the guy was beat before I had even called. Like I wasn't the problem. Like his mindset was the problem, in that he was disrespectfully labeling me, by the way, and you and anybody else who calls him, as being seen or in thinking that I have a problem with $80. Now, how does he know if I have a problem with $80? He doesn't, right? What he's doing, it's called a softener. When I suggested to him that $80, was actually cheap, his response to me was, well, actually, most people in the US would think that is expensive. Really? $80? $80 too expensive? Take a family of six to McDonald's, it's more fucking expensive than $80 these days. That's a mindset thing. I'm sorry. That's got nothing to do with money, and it's actually disrespectful to think that everybody in America thinks that that's $80. Stop generalizing people. Start speaking to people who call you and start getting to the root of what they want, what they're looking for. That's the difference. Invest some time in these people who are answering the phone for you. Get rid of a few people that are answering the phone for you, because they're probably costing you a fortune if you're letting them think like that. One person who you can convert from this week on that you currently can't will be and should be worth to you at least $75,000 in profit, if not more money. I'd love to know what else you're going to work on over the next couple of weeks that will add more money to your business than this, because you don't even need to go and get 20 leads. Most of you will have one or two inquiries already that you can't book. So it doesn't get any more important. You most definitely will likely need a mindset shift, and I'm happy to help you to provide it. You will definitely need better skills. But what I'm showing you is the potential. And instead of fucking about in the office and just going over the same things with the staff time and time again, and accepting them tell you that there was 6 phone calls today, but nobody wanted to book because it was too expensive and nobody wants to pay $80 in America and all this other crap that you come out with that really absolutely killing you. And 30 years on, it's still the same bullshit that we all talk about that nobody wants to pay. Like, come on. This is how close you are. By the way, I'm your biggest fan, right? I want you to be rich, really rich. Like, I'm not saying for 1 second that this is about you not making money. It damn right is about you making money. I'm all in on you taking home $200, $250, $300,000 a year, because for many of you, you're probably this close. Might not feel it right now, but if you crack this code, everything else gets easier. What happens if you crack the sales code? Well, you get more money. What happens if you get more money? Well, you can take more time off. You can employ better staff. You can get better systems. You can get better premises. Maybe you can start to buy your premises. This is how life gets good. Life gets very, very good. And this, for most of you, if you can't do this, close the shop. It's close the doors, because it's going to be a lifelong struggle. So here's how you would make it. Let me show you. Your patients average 5 sessions and you charge $150, which is still very, very low. With the 1 additional conversion, you add $750 per week. So that's 35 grand a year. So again, please write this out, and you should do this with your numbers. If you're charging more, then you're going to make more than this. If you're charging less, why? But I want to just show you what it could be for you. Raise your rates by $50. That would bring in $250 per patient more, meaning you've added another $12,000 per year in additional sales from that 1 extra conversion. Everybody following along? Finally, instead of let's just have 1 or 2 visits and see how it goes, or daring not to tell them that they actually need a full plan of care, prescribe the 8 sessions that they need. That'll bring in an additional $600 per converted patient at your new rate. So we only need to change 3 things for you to get close to $75,000. You want to know how to do it? And by the way, that's just from 1 patient that you successfully convert, which is why I will say there's probably nothing better to get right. It's the most fundamental, foundational thing. Even before marketing, really, before we even start spending money on things like Google ads and Facebook ads, we need to have this nailed down. Otherwise, marketing and newspaper ads and Facebook just become a complete waste of money. So it's a minimum of $77,000, and I think for some of you, as we've proved over the years since teaching people how to sell and convert, many of them have actually added well over $100,000 and more in additional profit in their business. So how to increase your revenue, your total sales by 100%. Increase the number of clients just by 30%. All we've got to do is get you from 3 clients to 4. Increase the average spend by 20%, which is just simply go from $150 to $180, and increase the number of times they visit you by 30%, go from 3 to 4. Literally double what you're doing right now? Who thinks they can't do that? Anybody? Anybody think that they can't double their revenue in the next 12 months, knowing that now that is all we need to do? 30% extra clients, so 30% more conversions on the phone, increase your prices by just 20%, and increase the number of times they visit you by just 30%. You're staring at the formula for doubling your revenue in 2020. That's why I say getting good at sales and conversions is so important to you now. Let me show you again. So here's another example. 17 leads collected from Google AdWords. 17 leads collected from Google AdWords. So this is for one, Kevin, it is simple. Everything's simple when you know how. The problem is what happens after this webinar is if you get distracted and you don't see it through. So look at this one, and this will interest a few of you. So we do a lot of Google AdWords now for clients from all over the world. Check this one. So we got 17 conversions for Volk PT in Concord for knee pain. So 17 people looked for some information on knee pain, and 17 people took information from the website. Now check this out. Do this math. If the current conversion ratio is 1 in 5, right? So for every 1 or every 5 leads that you get from Google, and only 1 converts, which is what that means. Thus, for every 17 leads, he would make $3,300. That is 3 conversions at $1,100 each, which is the average spend for the patient. Is everybody following? So we've got 17 people to request some information or fill out a form or make a call from Google, right? That's leads, that's marketing. Now sales must take over. If the current conversion ratio is only 1 in 5, it means that for give or take every 17 leads, we're only converting 3 people. 3 people who go on to spend $1,100 each brings in $3,300. Now that's not bad because we only spent $78 to get them. But if the conversion ratio improves to 1 in 3, which is easily doable, then that same batch of leads on Google becomes worth $5,500. Do that every month. It's going to make a big, 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 big difference to your bottom line. 25 grand without any additional expense, all yours. So to improve his marketing return, this business owner only has to focus on improving his sales and conversion skills. So just a quick introduction to me, if you don't know who I am, author of now 4 books, former professional soccer PT, run my own practice still to this day, a significant number of visits coming through the doors. There's me in my early days as a PT running on the field. My favorite role these days, we've left England, we now live in Florida, and it seems my second home is Disney World, where I take my 3 kids, Harry, Tobias and Grayson. Having a wonderful time right now living here in Florida. Small business icon, winner of the 2016 Best in Class for Lead, Nurture and Conversion Systems. So I've done this before. Check me out in case you're brand new. We've done a lot of marketing to find new prospects for this webinar. If you are brand new to me, check me out at paulgough.com or paulgoughphysio.com is where my clinic's website is at. So let's get going. Pens and paper at the ready. Turn off your cell phone, close down your internet browsers, pen and paper, and please focus 100% for the next 90 minutes on the material. I'll tell you my story. I'm going to walk you through the 5 steps, and I'll talk to you about Sales Bootcamp at the end. So my struggles, really, I come from a country where healthcare is free, where not only am I asking them to pay out of pocket completely, I'm asking them to pay out of pocket completely when they can go and get PT free, paid for by the British government. So when I tell you that I've heard, I'll think about it, I'll get back to you, and I can't afford it, many times I really mean it, to the point where in the end I felt like literally quitting, until I learned so much of what I'm about to teach you today. The first thing that I had to accept was this: although what I'm selling is valuable, people absolutely hate being sold to. So the answer is to create an environment that people want to buy. The answer is to create an environment that people want to buy. And that's really the magic. That's what this is about. Let's stop selling them things and create an environment that people want to buy. And change the way they see what you're selling them is the number one way that you create that environment that people want to buy. So if any of you listened to that pranked podcast I put out yesterday, what you'll hear for literally 10 minutes is the guy selling PT and selling experience, selling his office, selling his place, right? He didn't once say to me, tell me about you. Tell me all about your problems. Tell me about your struggles. Tell me what you're really looking for, Paul. Tell me what's important to you so that I can really help you. Tell me what's important to you. Why would you want to even consider spending that much money with me? He never did that once. Therefore, he never created an environment that I wanted to buy. I never felt comfortable. I never felt good. So he was selling. And the irony of it, this is what's really interesting. If any of you go back and listen to that podcast, what's really interesting is if I got to speak to that guy in public, in person, in a bar, he'd tell me that he doesn't like selling. And yet, all he did for 10 minutes was sell. He just sold PT. He sold experience. He sold a doctor of physical therapy. He sold literally for 10 minutes. Listen to how long he spoke. He spoke for 9.5 minutes of the call. He was selling all the way through it. And yet, he probably detests selling. And this is the point that I'm trying to raise to all of you. Unless you know what selling is, you can have an opinion on selling all you want and say that I don't like to sell and I don't think that I should be selling. I bet all of you are currently selling right now. That's the irony of this world. The frustration's coming from because you feel like you have to sell, because you are selling and you don't need to. Create an environment that people want to buy. Big difference. Have it so that people actually want to buy from you, not having to listen to you or your people on the phone, selling them why it's worth $50 copay, why you're the best, why they should still come in spite of them not wanting to. That's selling. That's why your staff hate doing it, because they don't know how to fucking do it right. This world is so simple. When we educate ourselves on what these processes actually are and what this whole thing is, leave the other 99% to whinge about all of the bad stuff in their life. They're going to fucking whinge all their life. They're going to whinge and bitch and whine and moan about everything because primarily they're uneducated on the thing that they're talking about. They'll have never invested money or time in learning what actually selling is. So naive they are to the process. Easier to keep your head down for 35 years and tell people that selling is bad, yet have somebody on the front desk who is selling, but bad at it. The world is so simple. Create an environment that people want to buy. Here's something very simple for you to understand. What's the difference between sales and marketing? Everybody wants to talk to you. Market your practice, market your practice. Marketing is about moving them away from frustration. Sales is about moving them towards pleasure. Big fundamental difference in the way that you would speak to me. My newspaper ads are written in one way that talks about moving somebody out of the frustration that they're currently in. And what is the frustration that they're in, I ask you? Not pain. It is not back pain. It is the inability to decide what to do. That's their frustration. That is all of your frustrations. Really, deep down, your frustration is not the gal on the front desk who is screwing up your profit margins right now. Although at the external, you will verbalize that. The real deep frustration that you have, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, is that you don't know what to do about it. Is it not? Same with patients. Sales is about moving them towards pleasure. There's a big fundamental difference. So what else is sales? It's about enhancing their life so that they feel good about doing business with you now and again in the future. And people tell me that selling is wrong. People tell me that people in healthcare shouldn't be selling. That's just not right. Said everybody who's frustrated right now, who can't get the value out of their business that they're looking for, can't get the take-home pay, still are adamant that selling is wrong. And yet, all that selling is, it's about enhancing the life of other people so that they feel good. Feel good. In fact, I'm going to change that slide from now on. It's going to be feel fucking amazing about doing business with you now and again in the future. And this is true, right? So many people, check this out. So many people feel so negatively about selling and having conversations with people that comes across on the phone. They are so beat. If you've got somebody answering that phone right now who has a negative outlook of life, is always miserable, always comes in whinging, always comes in whining, always comes in moaning, is never happy, I'd probably just describe most of the world's front desk staff. But if you've got that person on your front desk, how can you possibly expect them to make me feel good? How? You can't. They don't believe in it. They don't believe in what you're doing. They think that charging $250 for PT is wrong. They think that people shouldn't have to pay $30 copay because they think they shouldn't have to pay $30 copay. And guess what? I'll feel that when I call you. And that's why I won't buy, because you're not making me feel good about buying from you. Very, very simple. Sales is a transfer of an emotion from you to them. Now, here we go again. And if it feels like I'm going to bash everybody on the front desk today, well, I probably am, because they cost you a lot of money if you don't have the right ones or the right people doing this for you. Sales is a transfer of an emotion. And again, go check who's on your front desk. Is there any emotion in them? Is there any true emotion that I want to pass from me to you, right? Do I have somebody on my desk who really wants to make my team feel good or my patients feel good? Or do they just want to do a job? Here's the point in the defense of the front desk people. Most of them have never been taught properly. They've never been trained and they've never been coached on how to do their job properly, to deal with $50 copay, to deal with objections about time and money and the fact that patients might be able to get it cheaper elsewhere. And because they've never been trained on how to do it properly, they're not confident in doing it. Therefore, they're actually spending more time thinking about themselves and protecting themselves from being vulnerable than actually transferring emotion to people. Can anybody resonate with what I've just said? Please think about it. I'm not just going to teach you simple things today. The mechanics of sales is easy, right? That's not what you need. A true understanding, the principles is where the genius is, where you will all get your breakthroughs from. I want you to be so successful badly. And to do that, you must understand and accept the principles. You can have a different script every single day. Great. I can give you scripts and I'll train you on scripts and teach you on scripts. But what you need is to understand truly that the most of the problems that we have with our front desk people is they haven't been trained. And because they haven't been trained, this slide exposes the problem. They haven't been trained. They are lacking confidence. They are focusing more upon themselves and how they feel. Anybody had a staff person that ever tell you, I don't like selling, or this feels too pushy. I don't like to talk to them when they bring up the money problem. What they're saying is they feel uncomfortable, and they feel uncomfortable because they don't know how to handle it. They haven't been trained. If I've been trained on the subject, it becomes almost an automatic response. I'm very confident about doing it, and therefore, can you guess what I'm able to give you? Emotion. Emotion. Many of you get that from me right now when I'm teaching you, getting my emotion. I believe in this. I'm confident about what I'm teaching you. I'm doing it. I'm living it on a daily basis, and I feel good about it. I'm having a lot of fun on my podcast. I'm having a lot of fun in business. I love everything that I'm doing right now in business. I wouldn't change anything. And you feel that. I wasn't born that way. I've educated myself to be that way so that I feel so confident in the moments I'm in with you, and you get that from me. You get that when you call my office from Vicky, because she's being trained relentlessly, non-stop, to feel good about the job that she's doing, and therefore patients pick up on that. Have a little think about what's happening in your office right now. You might not like what I've just told you, but I'd rather tell you the truth. Transferring how good you feel about your service to them so that they can feel good about having used your service now and again and again. Transferring how good you feel about your service to them so that they can feel good about having used your service now and again and again. How good do you feel about your business right now, business owners? How good do you feel about it? And again, let me just talk a couple of stories, a few analogies. Most business owners are pissed off right now with their businesses, pissed off with their staff, pissed off with insurance companies, pissed off with the doctor who stopped referring to you last week who had been for 5 years. They don't feel as good. And therefore, that's difficult to transfer to the patient. If I, as a business owner, don't feel good about my business, I can't get that across to my staff. And my staff sure as hell can't get that across to my customers. If your conversions are low, that is the effect. It is telling you that your sales skills are not as good as they could be. That's the cause. I'm a huge follower and believer in cause and effect. If you listen to my work and my podcast, my life is really defined by cause and effect, and it was the most liberating day in my life when I understood it and truly adopted it, that most people are talking about symptoms and not getting to the root cause. So a few people typed into the chat earlier, they have a problem with conversions. Well, that's the effect. That's not the cause. Let's get to the cause. Let's get to the cause of the problem, and we'll fix it. A few people typed in that they have people who just can't sell a value. Well, that's the effect. Is the cause that they haven't been trained? Is the cause that you don't know how to train them? Is the cause that you just don't fundamentally understand what it takes to convert somebody? And if we don't learn what the cause is, then guess what we're always going to do? Live at the effect level, which is the conversions are low. So better said, if you want more conversions, you've got to get better sales skills. You fundamentally have to understand what it takes to sell and convert a patient so that you can either do it for yourself or you can train your staff on how to do it. So doctors have done most of the selling. Understand this. Doctors have done most of the selling for you, which when the prices were low, low copay, people would pay. But now that the prices are in the $300, $400, $500 mark, people are not so quick to want to pay. I believe the focus is too much on marketing, and therefore you will be very likely to say, well, we went to the farmers market and or we went and did a community event and we got a lot of the wrong leads, and we've started Google Ads and it just delivers bad leads. We started Facebook. I love this one. We started Facebook ads, and Paul, I know you got me 27 new leads, all who live within a 5-mile radius of my town, all who requested a back pain report, but they're all bad leads. All 27 of them? You're really unlucky in life. No confidence when selling the value. Patients feel it. When you're distracted, when you're worrying about other things, when you're annoyed with your staff, when you're annoyed with insurance companies, when you are worried what your peers think about you for selling, heaven forbid that you charge more than them, heaven forbid that you have a dare to talk about the sales process in a healthcare clinic. Wow, in 2019, selling, are we allowed to do that? Most people are shockingly low. $80. The guy quoted me $80 on the phone on Friday when I did my pranked call. And my response to him was, wow, why are you so low? What's wrong? How can you possibly provide a good level of service to me at $80 when all of your competitors are charging $220? It's just not happening. I don't care what excuse you tell me why you're so low. It's killing you. That's actually increasing the problem with conversions, that the prices are so low that people think there's something wrong. Chiropractors, one of our biggest competition. Maybe there's a chiropractor on here. Very, very good at selling. Peer pressure, not right to sell in healthcare. Wrong skill set. I love it where they say it's not right to sell in healthcare. Have you ever studied sales? No, but it's not right to sell in healthcare. You mean you've never studied sales and you don't truly understand what it means? You just have an outdated false belief from the 1980s because somebody tried to sell you something once and you didn't like it. Is that what you're really saying? Yes. No skill set and more patient objections because of rising costs. So that's the big broad picture. That's where we're going to start from. We're going to get only a bit more mechanical and a bit more tactical. I'm going to talk through these sales processes with you now. So I think one of the biggest issues that people have is they don't actually realize that they're in a sales situation. So I called that clinic on Friday and they would have just said, oh, well, the person was just calling for information. Exactly. You're in a sales situation. Like that's what people do when they want information. It's like they're inviting a sales conversation. At every step of the way in your clinic, there are 6 at least different ways or situations that you could find yourself in a sales situation that will require you to know how to be able to speak to that person. So number one, number one situation where you will need to learn to sell the value is when you get cold leads from your website or Google. Selling the value on the phone to warm leads, the people who request your free reports or made inquiries about price. Converting people at the initial consultation to a full plan of care. Conversions from discovery visits, the free taster sessions. Reselling to drop-offs, no-shows, or people who say no. Converting at workshops or when speaking at educational events. So there's all of the 6 different situations you could find yourself in. So let's talk about them. Let's try and shed some light on each one of these. So the cold leads, they come from Google or Facebook. They find you cold and make a call out of the blue, which means that they are not all ready to say yes to you. They usually are literally just Googling you. They're just finding information. They're scrolling through the free listings on Yelp or on Google and just ringing around all of the different clinics. Very normal. I'm sure you do the same in certain situations. They often start with wanting to know about price or information on insurance. That's the cast iron guaranteed way that you can spot a cold lead. Now, the point that I'm going to share with you today is that you need to speak to all of these people very differently based upon them. And the first thing is in understanding that if I ask about price or are you insurance, I don't know anything about you. Therefore, you have to speak to me very differently than the slightly warmer leads. These are the hardest people to convert because they are cold, but they're also the biggest pocket of people. So said differently, they're actually your biggest frustration right now, but they're probably your biggest opportunity. And for many of you, given that Google is not getting any smaller, and more people are taking advantage of this thing called the phone to search for physical therapy clinics and just generally get solutions to their problems, bypassing the doctor, the ability for you to convert those leads is it. And if you pushed me on it, that's where I'd go. If I was coming into your business, let's just figure out, train these staff on how to answer the phone to people who find us from the internet. Because if we can get you over the line, the overwhelming number of you lends itself to us being significantly more profitable at the end of the month if we can get even just 5 or 10% of these cold leads to say yes to physical therapy. So they are your biggest opportunity. And for many, it would actually give you more confidence to spend more money on Google, more money on Facebook, and more money on newspaper ads, or just go out and do more marketing because you know that you're going to be able to convert them. So the second type of patient, converting warm prospects on the phone. So there's a big difference. Leads call you out of the blue. Prospects have most likely already been exposed to you by a doctor, a friend, or a past patient. They are more likely to say yes because of the way they have been pre-framed to know, like, and trust you. Now, look, again, from a high-level view of your business, that's where most of our businesses start, and that's also why they get stuck. Is because we, in the beginning of time when we start our business, we get friends and we get past patients calling, and we get family members referring, and they say very good things about us. But then what happens is that pool of people dries up. And if you've been in business for more than a year, you've probably already experienced it where, all of a sudden that phone calls are not as frequent anymore. You keep, asking your friends and your family to refer you, and you keep now, sticking another 16 posts on Instagram, even though you've only got 25 followers. Not much is happening because you've run out of people who are warm. To scale a business, to grow it past where you are today, it's getting good at the cold leads. So the warm leads, there are less of them around, and the challenge is not always getting them to say yes. It's often with those folks is to getting them to say yes to a complete plan of care, which is what a lot of people said at the start of this training today. We can get them, and we can get them to say yes, but we just can't get them to complete their full plan of care. Now, if you want to know why that happens, it's because, again, I'm going to teach you strategically from a big picture view of your business. The temptation is that with a doctor referral or a referral from a friend, we think that they're already sold in. We think that they truly understand the value, and therefore we neglect to do it. So the patient says yes because they were always going to. We really would have had to screw it up. But the patient says yes. But what we didn't do was really drill down on the value aspect. We didn't take the time to spend another 10 minutes with them, even though they were going to say yes. Think of your typical phone call in a clinic. If I called your clinic and asked for an appointment, I'd be pretty sure that I would be done within 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, and I'd have my appointment booked. And many clinics think that's being efficient. I think that's being foolish, because you are missing the golden opportunity to drill down on the value, which will not only get me over the line, but will get me to stay over the line and complete the marathon that I now have to run. So please understand that. I know you're looking for tactics, and I know you're looking for things to say, which I can give you, but I think the best thing I can do to help you is truly help you understand what's happening. I'm a huge believer in teaching the causes of these problems, because I know you're clever enough to figure it out for yourself. We all are. We can all figure out our problems, but the problem is we don't often know what the problem is. So with warm leads, if you're not getting a completed plan of care, it's actually because we're not drilling down on the value when we have an opportunity, and nearly always because we bypass it because they tell us they want to book. So number 3, converting people at the initial consultation to a full plan of care. Do not assume that they are in your clinic, that you have a patient. The biggest mistake is to think that just because they are there, that they're bought in. In my humble opinion, at my clinic, we don't consider them to be a patient. They're in until 3 to 4 visits to the clinic. At any point, we're on trial, and it's just safer to think of it like that. To have everybody thinking about the idea that 3 or 4 visits in is where they start to show you that they want to be a patient of your clinic. And I call this session, this thing that you do, the consultation. It shouldn't really be called a consultation. I liken it to a resetting of expectation setting, because that's ultimately what we have to do. Many of your patients come with the wrong ideas, the wrong thoughts, the wrong understanding of what they're going to get, and that's what costs you. That's what costs you the money. So the initial evaluation in Paul's clinic is called the resetting expectations. And if we focus more on resetting expectations, we actually get patients to complete plans of care. Or if you've done the phone call right, your initial front desk did a good job, we can reconfirm expectations. So here's a little tip. You wanted some tactical things. I promised you that you could take back on Monday morning. So here's these things. 3 questions. Questions are the answers to all of your problems. Sales is not really about telling people. It's about asking. So again, back to my podcast on Friday, the pranked call. I was on the phone for 10 minutes, give or take, and I asked all of the questions. He never asked me a single question, by the way. He didn't even ask me my name. I asked him his name 8 minutes in, and then introduced myself. 8 minutes in, he didn't even ask me my name. When there are such a basic, fundamental things going wrong in businesses, this is what you've got to face up to. If you train your staff, you train yourself on how to do this, you get clear on what it is that constitutes a good phone call. We don't have to sell. We can create that environment that people want to buy. That's where the magic is. That's what I know you want. And these types of questions, they create this environment where people actually want to buy from you. So a couple of questions that you could ask. Remind me again. Remind me again. What is it? What is it that you want to achieve? Number 2, how committed are you to achieving it? And number 3, how fast would you like it to happen? So those are 3 questions that we ask in an evaluation. So we're able to extract value in terms of what it means to the patient when we ask them, remind me again what you want to achieve. How committed are you? Yeah, I'm very good. And how fast would you like it to happen? Great, as fast as possible. Right, let's get on with this. If you want this value and you are this committed to achieving it, and you want it to happen in the next 3 weeks, my recommendation is that you book out 9 sessions with me, 3 sessions a week for the next 9 weeks. Now, at that point, here's the magic. I haven't sold anything. I've just prescribed what they asked for. That's it. Questions are the gateway. Questions are what creates the environment in which people want to buy. They're telling you what they want versus you telling them what they need. The big problem, again, if your front desk people are not trained, if you're not trained to every time that phone rings, ask specific questions and listen and prescribe from there, you will always be selling. And that's not cool. You don't need to do it. It's hard. It's too hard to keep selling all day, every day. Get committed to training yourself and training your staff on how to handle these situations, you will create environments in which people want to buy from you. Number 3, converting people at the initial consultation. The success of the full POC comes and is directly proportional to the quality of the conversation on the phone. So here we go. Here's another classic example of cause and effect, okay? People will say, well, they didn't convert after the initial consultation. Paul, how do we get our consultations better? I say, we change the way you answer the phone. Sales is just a system. It's a kinetic chain. That if my conversions at the consultation are not good, it usually means that my telephone consultations are not good. That's the cause and effect in play. If you're getting a no or a drop off at this first session, it's most likely because of what didn't happen on the phone in the days building up to the session. So if I called you on a Tuesday and you just got me over the line with a very simple, give me your insurance details and tell me your name, and I come on down 2 days later and I say no, it's very tempting to think that it's because of what happened in the consultation, but it's because of what didn't happen on the phone in the days building up. It's called pre-framing. It's something that makes sales much easier and is a prerequisite for conversion success. It's very difficult to get me or anybody to buy anything unless you pre-frame. You just cannot do it because I need to have understood it days before I actually want or need to buy. So here is pre-framing. Big topic at Sales Bootcamp that we talk about quite in depth as to how to get pre-framing into your language, into your business, into your conversations. Here's why it works. Understand this. And again, there's lessons here for you with training your staff. If you want to help somebody buy something with which they are not familiar, that we can all agree on that the average guy on the street or lady on the street is not familiar with physical therapy. If you want them to buy something unfamiliar, you have to do this. Change their beliefs, their attitudes, and their experiences in ways that make them want to buy. Okay? That's the big picture of what you must do. And you can do it in many ways. One of them is to allow them to have a free sample of something first. In which case, you'd be changing my understanding. So if I'm calling you and I'm unfamiliar with what PT is, one of the things that my front desk would do is recognize that very quickly. We'd ask you the question, have you had PT before? Do you understand what it is? And what do you want to get from it? And if we're starting to hear things we don't like, one of the things that we'll do is instead of prescribing a paid for consultation, we'll prescribe a free taster session so that somebody can come down and get a feel for it. Now, the key sounds simple when I say it and you're agreeing and you're saying, yes, I get that, sounds good. The key is to make sure that the staff are trained enough to recognize when somebody isn't ready for an evaluation and must start with a taster session. It acts as a bridge from uncertainty to a more confident decision. Because one of the problems that I see the PTs run into is that because it's free, it's easy to think that you don't have to sell the value. For example, now one of the ways you could sell the value of free, and again, here's another thing to write down, is to have your front desk trained to say something along the lines of this. We are able to offer you a free discovery session, Mr. Gough, because it sounds to me as though you are a little unsure exactly what a physical therapy clinic does. And I don't want you committing to hundreds of dollars of healthcare until you are very confident in what you're going to be buying. Because of that, I would like to offer you $250 worth of healthcare free. It's called our taster session, and it allows people like you to come on down to my clinic to sample what we can do for you, to allow you to spend some time with my team, to have your questions answered, to allow you to get any concerns that you might have right now that could be holding you back from physical therapy all answered. And at the end of that free session, that is a $250 value, you will be in the best position to make the best decision about what to do to solve this golf swing problem that your back pain is creating. See the difference? Magic happens when you have staff trained on how to answer the phone. You cannot just let them give it away free. In fact, the more that you give away the free thing, the less value people see in it, and therefore the more problems you'll run into at the initial consultation. Again, what I'm trying to do is really help you see this. I'm shining spotlights on real problems in your business, not symptoms, real problems in your business. Number 5, reactivating no-shows and drop-offs. So here's my precursor to how important this is. There are 500 people on this training right now. If I bought any one of your businesses, the first thing that I'd do would be fix this. I would train my front desk person on how to reactivate no-shows and people who said not right now. That's all I would do. And I'd have my money back within 3 months. However much I paid for your business, it would all be relative. If I paid $50,000 for your business, I'd have it back within 3 months by training my front desk person on how to do this. If I paid $150,000, it probably means I've got even more drop-offs. I've got more patients who didn't convert, and I've got more patients who no-showed. I would just train my front desk person, nothing else, because all things being equal, I'm still going to get what you were getting if you sold me your business. But I'm looking to get my money back quickly and then add to my business profits from this untapped area, which would be in fixing this. Easily the most overlooked area of most people's businesses, which means it's actually your biggest area of opportunity. Just because they said no doesn't mean no. It often means no, not right now, or quite simply, the time just isn't right. It's my kid's birthday next month, and after that, I've got Thanksgiving, and after that, I've got Christmas, and then in January, I'm taking the kids to Hawaii. This $2,000 that you want from me, Paul, I mean it when I say now just isn't a good time. All right. You mean you still are interested in getting some physical therapy? Yes, just not right now. All right. Shall I call you back in January? Yes. Great. That's truth. That's reality of people's situations. That's why. What's my favorite phrase in business? Fortune's in the follow-up. No, not right now. That's all it means. I just don't understand it at this point. Time might have to play out. You might need to give me a few days. You might need to give me a few weeks. But if you've handled my initial phone call right and you've made a dent and you've really impacted me and you've truly took the time to understand what I want, I'll be more likely to want to give you money when the time is right. Is right. I venomously disagree when most people say that money is the problem. It isn't. The timing of spending the money is the problem. Somebody else is going to get the money. That's fine. And you might have to wait your turn, but you'll only get a turn if somebody actually picks up the phone and says, hello, 3 months ago you dropped off our schedule. Did you ever get your back pain fixed? If not, would you like to come on down? We haven't changed. The back pain hasn't gone away. Come on down. Knowing how to call these people back up and reconvert them is the quickest and easiest part of your sales system to boost profits. It's just non-negotiable. Having somebody on that front desk who's trained and knows how to call back with people who dropped off a month ago or who said no 2 months ago is where every one of you, all 500 of you, as I look at you in the eye, are losing money right now. You want a better Christmas? Christmas is coming fast. You want a better Christmas? Fix this. I'm telling you, fix this. There's a yacht for some of you in this and fixing it. Number 6, selling at events. This is all about the quality of the questions you ask in the build-up to the event. In the build-up. It's not about what you do when you're at your workshop. If you've got people coming to your office and you're doing a back pain and sciatica workshop, these things convert very highly when you ask good questions before the event so that you know what people want to know from you. Success is predicated by how they are, there's that key word again, pre-framed on the call leading up to the event. So I've seen so many people do workshops and say, Paul, I got 20 people in my clinic the other day. I ran $4,000 worth of newspaper ads and I paid some guy $3,000 to run these funnels for me. And I spent $2,000 on Google and I spent $1,000 on something else. I'm now 10 grand in the hole, but I got 20 people at the office. I got 20 people to come to the clinic. The problem was I only got 3 or 4 of them to convert. I barely got my money back. In fact, I'm negative. Common story of workshops, as most people tell me. And one of the things that you need is not fancy funnels. It's somebody who can answer the phone when that person calls and shows an interest in your workshop who asks the right questions so that they are able to be pre-framed about what the value of the event is, and ultimately what the value of PT after the event will be. You cannot just bring people to your workshop and then at the end ask them to pay for PT and give them 5 minutes to decide. You have to have transparency. You have to speak about the thing that is your intention. Otherwise, that's not cool. What did I do within 10 minutes of this seminar today? I told you my intention. The transparency is there. That's the honest and decent thing to do. So by having somebody trained on the phone when we're putting on workshops who says something along the lines of this, so how it would go in my office. Great, congratulations, you've done a really smart thing. I cannot wait to see you next week at our back pain and sciatica workshop. What's going to happen at the event is you're going to get lots of cool information. You're going to be able to spend a lot of time with a back pain expert who's going to answer all of the questions that other doctors have so far failed to answer for you. What we're going to do then is give you an opportunity to move forward with us and decide for yourself if physical therapy is the right next step for you. So you'll be coming for two things, Mr. Smith. First of all, is to get the information that you need to make the right decision for physical therapy. And then on your back pain. And then if you've got enough information and you are confident and happy to proceed, you will be given an opportunity to book a $250 value free next physio session. How does that sound? It sounds like you're honest. It sounds like you're truthful. It sounds like you've also given me 5 days to consider that I might want to do something else with you. These are huge things that you must be training your staff on, that if you do, gold. There's magic. There's magic here for you, and there's loot. There's a lot of money sitting in your business right now with a well-trained front desk person, or even just training yourself and understanding it at the principal level so that you can go back and teach it. As much as anything, what I want to do today, and again, here's my my full transparency. I hope that at the end of this 2 hours together, you aren't just excited by these new things that you've learned. You are ecstatic at the idea that there is so much opportunity in your business should you choose to explore it. There is opportunity everywhere in all of these different scenarios that are happening in your business today that, if you're honest with yourself, are not, and here's the key word, write this down, intentional. Intentional. The difference between my business and most is that we're just intentional with everything that we do. We know why we're doing it. We don't always do it brilliantly well, by the way, and I'm the first to admit it. We can always do better. My team, my physio business, my marketing business, me included. I could always do this presentation better. We can always improve, but what we are is intentional, and we're not just letting life happen to us. And what I mean by that is many clinics literally just employ somebody. They run an ad on Indeed for a front desk person who's got experience of working at another place. They've worked at a dental practice or in healthcare before, and you think, great, they know what they're doing. Now, the reality is that the person that they worked for didn't know what they were doing either. Therefore, you are just picking up 10 years of bad habits. This is the reality, and I'm doing it on purpose because this is the truth. This is the real situation that businesses are in. Nothing to do with the economy, nothing to do with insurance companies, as much as they're a complete pack of bastards, for want of a better word. Yeah, they are a complete, crap show. However, if we fix our businesses, we don't have to worry about those insurance companies. We don't have to worry about not getting referrals from doctors. We don't have to worry about all of these things that we constantly are in our profession if we face up to the real problems. And I am adamant from my work with business owners around the world that the number one source of money leaving your business right now, and you not being as rich as you would like to be this Christmas, is because of this lack of training and lack of true understanding in sales situations, in sales and conversion situations. If you let people believe, here's why, and again, this is a profound reason why so many people do struggle with workshop conversions. They're allowed to believe that they're just going to be there to be educated. Well, that's all they look for. They'll get their questions answered. They need to be pre-framed. They need to have somebody speak to them first, who pre-frames them, who educates them on what is required and what will be on offer at the event. This is called optimizing the sales process. And they end up arriving knowing that PT is a viable option. at bootcamp, I teach you how to create the information on it all that you'd actually physically give people. You don't just let them show up. You send information to them, which now you've got their commitment. You give them information. It's called a shock and awe box. You give them information, which increases the likelihood that they'll want to say yes at the workshop to your next step. Throughout all of these interactions, here's the big point. Throughout all of these interactions with you, along all of these steps, this is called a sales process. It's called a sales system. You might not think you've got one, but we all have. If you're in business, you have a sales system. Might not be very good. You might not know, but you have a sales process. You have a sales system. Throughout every single step, the person is looking for this. Are you ready? Write this down. In fact, any ideas? Let me have a little glass of water. Everybody having a good time? Everybody happy? You're all still here, so tells me. Type into the chat. Let me know. Let me know how you're feeling. Are we having a good time? Just give me a thumbs up, and then type into the chat. What do you think? What are people looking for? Type into the chat. To feel some hope, says Marcy. What else? Come on, I'm not moving on until you've all written something. A thumbs up. Confidence that you can solve their problem, says Don. What else? Confidence that they are spending their money right, says Shauna. What else? Come on. Alex says solutions. Jonathan says to be heard and understood. Come on, keep going. I'm not moving on. Don't think I am. Somebody who understands them. Mustafa says certainty. What else? Come on. Type into the chat. Let me know what you think. What do you think is the number one thing that they are looking for? If you haven't typed in, type it in. To have a great experience, which they have in control. Keep going. It's going to be a long afternoon. Tyler says confidence, that you have a solution to their problem, says Lindsay. Trust and confidence to have a choice, says Marcy. Come on, keep going. The reason, and again, right, I'm not being a complete ass here when I ask you to type in. I'm trying to help you. If I understand where you are, I can help you. I can put this into context for you. I can't help you unless you help yourself, for crying out loud. All you got to do is type into the chat and let me know what you think the answer is to the question. You can't get it wrong or right. I'm just looking for perspective. Jeez. To be heard, says Paula. Peter says good outcome. Confidence that somebody is actually listening to their problems, understanding the problem and relief. Good, John. Confidence that you can solve their problem. What else? To have a choice, that you have a solution to their problem, to make the right decision, says Justine. All right. Not being ripped off, says Kevin. Here's an interesting one for you, Kevin. When you think that, that's what you think you're doing. When you think that, that's what you think you're doing. Everybody understand what I've just said. The stuff that you project out is the stuff that you're manifesting in, right? When you have issues with people, you usually see them in yourself. Your issues with other people are usually inside. I've learned that, by the way, with issues with my mother and father. I've studied this relentlessly over the years, right? Relentlessly over the years. That the only way I've been able to rectify issues with my parents is I accused them of things and saw things in them that pissed me off. And guess what I was actually seeing? Stuff in myself. It's fucking brilliant. When you truly understand and just take time to step out of the dogmatic way of thinking in this life, it's liberating. Liberating. So what I mean by that, Kevin, and thank you for being so open with it, is and willing to accept it. The issue that if you think your patients don't want to be ripped off, it's because you're worried that you are ripping them off. It's actually the other way around. Is the problem? It manifests itself, and you'll see it in almost everything. You could even go through it in here with assurance and confidence. It's you think that they want confidence, and it actually means that you lack confidence. That is pivotal when you start to understand all of this. It's the reverse. When you think that patients want lower prices, it's a little bit because you're wanting to pay low prices, that you believe it should be low prices, that your family want to pay low prices for healthcare. Massive mindset shift. I'm going to leave you with that. I'm not going to go too deep into it because this is not the seminar for that. That's for sure. But I'm trying to help you. Look, I don't really just want to help you with sales and conversions. I want you to build a super successful business and live a terrific life. And within all of that is understanding all of this stuff that's going on up here. The actual thing that people want, Mustafa, congratulations for getting that right. Of all of the people who typed in, this is all people want: certainty. You and I, every single one of us wants certainty. Every single person wants this certainty. Are you delivering it? That's the key to all your sales skills. Certainty equals how confident you are in each of the 6 situations. And this is 50% of the reasons why, oh, my phone is ringing in the hotel. This is live. It is real. This is what happens. The maids just walked in a few moments ago. The phone's ringing right now. The sun's shining. Everyone's having a good time. Certainty and how confident that you are is actually the reason, 50% of the reason that people say yes or no. So the good news is that as your sales and conversion skills increase, so does your confidence. And as a direct result, so too your conversion ratio. So 5 things you're going to need in your system. This is really the bigger picture. So again, when it comes to training and understanding what you need to get better at sales, to get better at conversions, these are the 5 things that you need. Number 1 is rapport. This is a framework. You can write this down and you can study it this weekend and see if you have it in your business this weekend. Number 2, value alignment. Value alignment. Number 3, match the benefits of your service to their problem. Number 4, anticipate objections, not hide from them. And number 5, ask if they are happy to proceed. So let's talk about these. Simply put, spend some time getting to know the person before you consider them a client. Nobody buys anything of significant value from people that they don't get along with or feel connected to. And if they don't connect with you, something called dissonance builds. And in the end, that's what they say no to, not your PT skills. You're not saying no to the offer. You're saying no to the fact that you are uncomfortable with how you feel about the person that you're speaking with. So if you look at the typical phone call, again, an untrained front desk person, patient rings up and says, hello, I'm looking for information on physical therapy. They'll usually start with, what insurance are you with? I mean, my goodness, it's just dreadful. There's the problem right there and then. What insurance? How do we build rapport from that? Which usually leads to a conversation about whether we do or we don't take the insurance. And even if we do take the insurance, it usually leads to a, give me a name, give me a telephone number, what's your date of birth, what's your address, when can you come? Great. I'll book you in on Thursday at 2:00, and our very experienced doctor of physical therapy will see you at 2:00. Come 20 minutes early to fill out a shitload of forms that'll frustrate you and probably make you want to throw the bloody thing through the window. Right? That's the 101. That's the 101. There's no rapport. It's not possible for me to look forward to wanting to spend money with you when that's the level of conversations from untrained people answering the phone. Rapport is the most vital aspect of it all. At my clinic, we call it person first, patient second, and it drastically improves the conversation. So we would want to it would almost be like, whoa, slow down. Literally, the phone script at my clinic is, if somebody rings up and says, hey, can I have an appointment, please? Vicky would say, absolutely, I can take care of that appointment for you. Just before we do that, do you want to tell me a little bit about you? What's going wrong? What's happening? Talk to me. Let's get to know each other before we book that appointment. I'll say this again, something else you can take back to your secretary, your front desk people on Monday morning. Hey, can I have an appointment, please? Or, yeah, can I have an appointment? Vicky would say, Absolutely, Paul. I can take care of that for you in just a moment. But before we do you want to tell me a little bit more about you? Do you want to tell me a little bit about what's happening to you? I'd like to get to know you first, just to make sure that this is the right place for you. You might want to start by telling me what problem you've got. What pain are you in? Completely different way of answering the phone. That's rapport. Give a shit before you take their money, please. Please, basics. Number 2, value alignment. This is where the quality questions come in. So here's the key point. Their perception of what you can do is all that matters. It's not what you actually do. And this is where so many healthcare professionals struggle, because they know that they're very good at their craft. They know that they're really good at PT, and they almost force that view of the world on somebody. But it doesn't really mean anything, because perception is what people buy. So when I booked a ticket for this boot camp, $3,500, at that point I'd handed the money over and I hadn't received anything. So what did I buy? I bought a perception of what I was going to get. And that perception was shaped primarily by the person that I spoke to at the company when I made an inquiry about it. So if you want them to value what you do, it's in the phase called value alignment. So after rapport, we move into value alignment with questions like, what value would this bring to your life? Or if I could solve this for you, what would it mean to you? Answer this truthfully. How many of you have asked any questions like that on the phone this week? How many of you have asked questions like that on the phone this week? How can you sell a value when you don't know what the value is? How can your front desk person really truly contribute to the value of this whole thing when they're not asking questions that actually find out what the value is that people want from you, that they're willing to pay for? You keep getting told, sell the value. You know, I hear it all the time. It's getting worn out. That if you want to be successful in the cash pay or out of pocket pay situation, you have to sell a value. First of all, you have to sell a value in every situation. But how are you going to sell a value if you don't know what value they look for? Because I'll tell you what happens. Instead of selling the value, you end up selling the PT. You end up selling experience. You end up selling the fact that they've spent 5 years at PT school, that you have doctors of physical therapy in your office, that you are 20 years experienced. That's what you end up selling, which is not value. They are features. Fundamental sales mistake. That your front desk is most likely selling features, and people want to see value. Big difference. Emotion versus logic. The questions we have been trained to ask in the subjective are not going to cause an emotional change in somebody. People buy when they're emotionally charged. Sadly, what we do, it's nearly all logic. It's backed up by research and data. And PT school did a very good job of whacking any emotion out of you, because emotional decisions in healthcare lead to very unhealthy outcomes for patients. So you've been trained to be logical. You've been trained to be factual, matter of fact, say this, then that. That puts you up. It's a clash. You ever tried to reason with somebody in your house? When Natalie says to me, Paul, why didn't you pick up your clothes again this morning? If I give her a logical answer, because I was too busy, it doesn't get me far. She's still pissed. In fact, she gets even more pissed, right? Emotion versus logic is going on in your household every day. That when you're annoyed, when you're emotional, and you ask a emotional question, why were you late again? And for example, in my situation with Natalie, I tell her that I was stuck in traffic, which is logical. She says, well, why didn't you leave earlier? Why didn't you consider that you'd be stuck in traffic? A logical answer actually emits a worse response. Emotion versus logic. People buy on emotion. They make emotional decisions. They almost fight with logic most of the time. They don't like logic. So in our case, logic is experience. It's credentials. We're a doctor of physical therapy. You and everybody else in town. Sorry, but it's just the truth. What they want to know is, what do you do in terms of value that all those other doctors of PTs haven't currently told me that they do? It's actually easier than you think. So it's important because people do undoubtedly make all of their decisions and they buy from emotion. Never ever have your front desk asking questions in the order that they are appearing in your EMR, whatever you use, TM3, JNAP, all these, the great software, wonderful for storing data, but don't ask questions in the order that they will allow you to. Number 3, match the benefits of your service to their specific problem. So now you know what they value. It's easy to make and match it up to what the service actually does. So the way I teach this to my staff, and I train my staff on this, is to just tell a story. It's actually really, really simple. Tell them a story of somebody else with similar values that you've helped get a similar outcome. And you would train your staff to say something like this. Paul, having listened to you for the last 5 minutes, and you've told me all about your back problem that stops you from playing golf, and you would like to be able to get on that course again within the next couple of weeks. I heard this before. In fact, we hear this all the time. We just helped a lady in her 50s to be able to do this. She came in, she'd suffered for quite a while. She used to be able to get to no further than 10 or 11 holes before she had to stop and make her way back to the clubhouse. She came in, she got some treatment with us, and she's now back in the clubhouse. She's back playing golf and enjoying her life again with her friends. Just tell a story. It's really simple. But again, the issue is not the simplicity of it. It's, are your staff trained on it? Will you train them? Are they drilled daily, weekly on these types of things? Do you know how to train them on it? Number 4, everybody fears the objections, the money objection, the time objection. Tell me what the objection is. Let's talk about it. It's the only way we can make progress. If I don't understand what your objection is, I can't serve you. I can't put these wonderful PT skills that I've got to very good use. In which case, I'm always going to be frustrated and you're always going to be left with pain. Even worse, you're going to go to some crappy mill-like clinic around the corner and you might pay less than what I'm charging, but you're not going to get the type of service that I provide, which will make your day. So do not think that they don't have concerns or objections, even if they say yes. By and large, there's still some crickets. People join my programs and classes all the time, and then the next day they're like, holy shit, like, what have I done? Same in physio. Sign up for a plan of care. Oh my word, what have I done? You must anticipate the objections. Get them all out of the way. Talk about them. Everyone has them. They just have not raised them yet. So you must know and have your staff understand that it's okay to talk about objections, to talk about the white elephant in the room. Raise them even if they don't. It's much easier to tackle them when they are with you than after they have gone. So here's how to do it. Simply ask them a question. Do you have any concerns or questions for me before you leave? Objections. Everybody gets them. It's a normal part of the sales process. So 7 common objections. Let's run through these. Usually people find them very interesting. You don't understand my problem. This means I don't think I did a good job of explaining it. A lot of patients, very underestimated. How many patients will say no to you because they don't think they did a good enough job of explaining what they want and what's wrong. And therefore, they think it's their fault, not yours, that there wouldn't be an outcome. I don't have time right now. What does that really mean? Really? No time? What? No? Even though most people spend 9.5 hours a day on Facebook? It means I don't think it'll work. It means that I have other things to do that I know will work, and you currently haven't done a good enough job of proving to me or helping me feel certain in the outcome that I will get from you. I can't afford it. Most people can't afford iPhones, but they buy them. 64% of America, I got told this yesterday, 64% of America will never have more than, it used to be when I read it, $1,000. 64% of Americans don't have more than $400 in reserve at any one time in their bank. 64% of Americans never have more than $400 in their person, in savings, tucked away at any one time. Yet they're still buying iPhones. Yet they're still buying $1,000 TVs. Yet they're still buying cars and clothes and going to Disneyland and whatever else. I can't afford it is I see the value, but I've got a cash flow issue. Big difference. How do people get to Disneyland? $10,000. They start paying 2 years before they go. Payment plans. How do people get iPhones? Spend $1,000 with a company that offers to let them pay interest free for 12 months. Cash flow issues. Big difference. It's too expensive. And again, just to point it out, whenever I run my classes and sell my programs, we'll do it today. 50% of the people who join the programs take payment options, and yet they don't offer those payment options in their office. How? How can you buy one way but sell a different way? How can you take advantage of payment options, but then don't consider that your patients, your folks, might have the exact same needs? It's not necessarily that you don't see the value in the $3,500 sales bootcamp. It might be that there's just a cash flow issue, in which case it's easier to use the payment plan that we offer. That's very real. That's very normal. It's exactly the same with patients. That $3,000 plan of care, help them out a little bit. 4, it's too expensive. What that really means is I had no idea how much it was going to be, but it sounds higher than I expected. Number 5, it won't work for me. Nothing good ever does. Nothing good ever does. Everything goes wrong in my life. Everything I buy, everything I touch, I get it wrong. Any of you ever had that feeling that just things are just going against you right now, that no matter what you do or touch or say, it just goes wrong? So there. I don't trust myself to get this right. I always get important decisions wrong. Last time I spent this much money, I got it wrong, and I'm worried that I'm going to get it again. Anybody ever had that? So do they. But it's not an insurance or a money thing. I'll talk to my insurance first. Well, what does it really mean? It means I'm a little surprised that I couldn't do it. I just expected to be able to use my insurance. And when you understand in that moment, here's the lesson for you. When you understand in that moment that it isn't necessarily just an insurance thing, it's actually that they are surprised and an expectations issue at a higher level. An expectation issue, you know how to deal with them very, very differently. When you deal with somebody who gets something happen to them unexpected, they get very, very defensive very quickly. Therefore, your front desk need to know how to stop them getting defensive very, very quickly if you are to have any chance of getting them to pay out of network. Last point, ask if they're happy to proceed. How many of us just don't dare say, have you seen enough? Are you ready? You're finding yourself, and again, I know a few of you will suffer with this. You're finding yourself, you've got good rapport with the patient, you've entered the friend zone, you're spending too much time waffling, we're just talking, and 25, 30 minutes in, we need to ask, listen, we're having a great conversation here. Are you ready to move forward? Have I answered your questions? Have you seen enough? I very rarely hear people actually ask, are you ready? Have I done enough? How about Thursday, 2 o'clock? Listen, this has gone great. What a great conversation we're having. Can't wait to continue it with you. I've got 2 o'clock on Thursday, 3 o'clock on Friday. Which one works for you? For many of you, again, that's all your staff need, is to be trained on how to answer that. How to do this. Are you ready to move forward? All of the success in sales and conversions actually comes from asking, do you want to proceed? Not waiting for them to tell you no. Listen to what I've just said. Most of the time, patients are not even being asked, and therefore most of them are just defaulting to no. This is how bad it is. On Friday's pranked call, I asked the guy, right? Check this out. Friday, twice I asked him. This was the exact way that I said it. Should I book with you now, or should I ring round a few of your competitors first? I asked him, should I book? And he said, no, call round and then call back if you want the appointment. Oh, my goodness. And I know many of you are sat there thinking, my front desk wouldn't do that. But guess what? So is the boss of the guy who is doing it every day. Unless he's on this webinar, he is letting that front desk cost him an absolute fortune because he's not trained. He's not listened to. Nobody's listening to how he's answering the phone. So not only does he not let me book when I ask to book, he doesn't ask me if I want to book. Like, there's no way that we're going to be able to get more patients with that way of thinking. And the other thing, fear of rejection. How many of you are just frightened the hell out of hearing a no because you take it personally? If I could change anything for you, I'd love to change that for you. Stop worrying about people saying no to you. It's their issue, not yours. It's not your issue. They say no to everybody, not just you. You think it's you that they're saying no to. They're not. They're not. They're just saying no because they don't understand it. They're just telling you that they haven't got a good enough grip right now on the situation, even if they do. And it gives you an opportunity to educate them on it. So one simple way is to ease that fear. How do you want to proceed? Paul, we're having a great conversation. How do you want to proceed? How can you erase your fear over selling? Quite simply, see it from another angle. That's it. See it from another angle. You're not selling them anything. You're changing their life. It's something that you do for people. I can let you leave. At the end of this seminar, I can let you leave and just say, hey, do you want to sign up for a program that if you come to Orlando with me for 2 days, I can figure out how to solve the biggest problem that you've got in your business. I can train you and I can train your team. AKA, I can make your life better. I can get you this Christmas with more conversions than you would have and more money in the bank than you would have had you not come. I'm not selling to you. I'm selling for you. 100% for you, because I know it'll change your life. It'll change your staff's life. It'll change the confidence, the air, the swagger that you'll have when you understand what this is, how to confidently tell people that it's $250. That will change your life with a patient. Am I doing it to you or am I doing it for you? Because I don't know, Mr. Smith, maybe the last 10 years that you've spent limping, maybe that hasn't been quite enjoyable. I'm wondering if now these other problems and complications that you've got and the fact that you've got regular problems with illnesses is because you are losing your mobility. Now ask me again, am I selling to you or am I selling my physio services for you? That's the mindset shift. That's the difference. The real difference is I believe it 100%. And I don't really care what people think about it. For me, anybody who's worried about selling is usually more concerned with themselves. When you truly understand what you're doing and the intent is pure and you legit offer wonderful products and services to people, I believe the best and only thing that you can do is sell it for them, not to them. So a couple of more points. Huge. One more big point after this as well. The priming effect. You're going to use this when you answer the do you take my insurance question. Understand this. Here's the teaching. Here's the lessons. Here's the learning. We place significance on whatever we hear first. So if you answer with a no, right, and you can understand this and unravel it for other aspects of your sales situations as well. If you say no, that's all they will hear. You've almost no chance of winning them back round. So how do you answer this question? Instead of no, you quite simply ask, what have you done? What have you done? Do you take my insurance? Before I answer that for you, do you mind me just asking, what have you done? Because really, regardless of whether or not I take your insurance, I'm going to be able to help you if I understand what you've done. What's the price? What have you done? Everything starts with what have you done? It's the easiest gateway to wonderful, value-based, emotive conversations with patients that changes the outcome. It flips whatever you're getting right now completely on its head when you get your staff or yourself trained on how to answer the phone differently than you are now. Look, it's this simple. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. And the fact that 500 of you are on this webinar tells me you're not happy with what you're getting. You may be just like me. Things are doing all right. You just want more. I'm here this weekend. Look, my businesses are doing good. I've got wonderful staff. I train them relentlessly, but I know I can learn more. I always want the next thing in my business. That's who I am. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm success driven. I love knowledge. The best investment I've ever made is in myself and continues to be to this day. No houses. I invest significantly in houses, in the stock market and various other things, but nothing like the return that I get on investing in myself. If you invest in yourself, you invest in your people, and you invest time in training them how to solve the problems that you've got, invariably they solve them. There's always better to be gotten, and there's always improvements, and there's always new ways. But I'm telling you, if you don't change the way you're currently answering the phone to your patients, nothing will change. Some of you will have been on this webinar last year and didn't do what I told you to do a year ago. By and large, it's changed a little, but not that much, and nothing will have changed. You'll have had good intentions and good ideas, but if it isn't executed and it isn't trained into your staff and ingrained into them or yourself, nothing will change. How badly do you want it? Making use of the priming effect like this means that the first thing that they hear is not no, it's asking about them and their well-being. So listen to it in your head. Do you take my insurance? No. Okay, I'll go somewhere else. Hey, do you take my insurance? Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. Most important thing, not the insurance, it has to be you. Tell me what you've done. Think about it. Who's the most important person in this situation? The person you're speaking to, not the fucking insurance company. They're a complete pain in the ass, right? Make this about the person, not the insurance company. And by the way, here's the real kicker. Even if you take their insurance company, it's still irrelevant. Why would you want that conversation to be about fucking Anthem or some crappy insurance company? How would it make me feel as a business owner to think that you're only doing business with me because I have an agreement with Anthem? That's it. You only want to do business with me because I signed up with some insurance company years ago. That's it. No wonder you're going to drop off. No wonder you don't want to pay the copay. No wonder you give my staff pushback, because this was all about whether or not I was in network with an insurance company. Even if I am, that shouldn't be the reason you buy from me. God, like, come on. So whether we're in insurance or not, it shouldn't be about the insurance. It's about them. How have we ever lost sight of this? It's about their well-being. Start talking about it. Not ask me for my fucking insurance card. Raising rates, another thing for you to do. Simple. Give them a choice. Do you want the $250 session or the $150 session? It's totally up to you. You choose. Now they're thinking about whether or not they want this one or that one, not yes or no. Huge. Which option works best for you, Paul? The 150 or the 220? And here's what to say if it's too expensive. Of course you can get it cheaper, Mrs. Smith. In fact, Mrs. Smith, I can show you where to get it cheaper from. I don't know if it's your experience, but I've never found a company that can offer the best quality and the best service for the lowest price. May I ask, which are you willing to give up? Is it great quality, best service, or lowest price? Because you're not getting all three. And that, for all 500 of you on here, is the reality. You cannot tell me that you provide great service and great quality and still provide the lowest price. You're kidding yourself. You're lying to yourself when your prices are so low, trying to provide the best service and the best quality. It is not possible. With the higher prices, you can provide better service and you can provide more quality and you can provide something that is significantly more than just PT. So just something for you to think on. Here is again a reminder of how to increase your revenue and sales. Double it in the next 12 months. This simply. Increase the number of patients by 30%. Go from 3 to 4. Increase the average spend by 20%, go from 150 to 180, and increase the number of times they visit you by 30%, go from 3 visits to 4. That's it. 100% increase in your revenue, 100% increase in your total amount of money that you make in the next 12 months can be doubled by doing just those 3 things. Who wants to know even more about doubling your sales and conversions? Now, this is where I'm going to talk to you and give you that opportunity that I promised you at the start of this talk today. I'd love to work with you on this. I can spend 2 full days with you on this. I can train you and I can train your team. If you don't want to train them, I do. I'll train them. I love it. Always have. I've been training my staff for years, and I continue to train my staff, and I continue to train other staff around the world. I'd love to do this for you. Let's talk about you. You know you need to convert new patients. You know that higher conversions requires better sales skills, and you know that converting more at higher prices is the fastest way to grow your profit. There is so much to be learned, and doing it all on your own will take years. So that's why I created this. It's the 2-day boot camp. It's now famous. There's no other way. Last year we had people in from Australia, we had people in from Europe, we had people in from Canada, and people in from America. It is a 2-day boot camp that I will show you exactly how to handle all of these situations in your business. I'll give you the scripts, I'll give you all of the deep internal understanding of it, and I'll even show you how to train yourself and your staff after you leave boot camp so that all of this is done for you. So we can fix it. It's 48 hours of your time. If you're willing to invest just 2 days with me, I will be able to solve the biggest frustration that you've got in your business. It's called More Sales, Higher Conversions. Simply, that's what it's about. How to get more sales and how to get higher conversions from all of the leads that you're currently losing right now. It'll be the complete step-by-step process over 8 sessions in 2 days to double conversions at your practice. 4 main focuses. We're going to show cash pay businesses how to convert more patients who are asking about using their insurance, how to show insurance businesses how to get all the patients to a completed plan of care, and end to hearing, I'll think about it, I'll get back to you, or I'll talk to my insurance, and give you the confidence to raise your rates to at least $250 per visit. Ultimately, the ultimate outcome that I'm sure you want, double your income in 2020 without adding any additional marketing. No more marketing expenses. No marketing expense needs to be added for you to double your income. Just train yourself or your staff on how to answer the phone. It's for you if you dread hearing the words, do you take insurance? It's for you if you dread or hear regularly, I'll get back to you. For you if you are fed up of hearing, I'll think about it. And it's for you if you are worried about raising prices and losing patients. If you do, it's definitely for traditional businesses. Last year, I think we had, I think it was 60-40, 60% cash or out of network and 40% traditional. It tells you the problems that the insurance businesses are running into. If you're new in business, come. A guy called Josh Hall came 6 months before he started his business, smashing it right now, probably even on this webinar. He'll be there again. He started with us 3 or 6 months before his business kicked off, and he's just selling plans of care like there's no tomorrow right now. You'll get to meet him face to face when you come to the event. You struggle to get people to commit to a plan of care. You're out of network and keep hearing, I want to talk to my insurance first. You are frustrated at your staff's inability to sell a value. That's fine. Let me loose on them. I'll teach them how to do it for you. You are not confident enough to truly sell the value of what you do. And if you were, you would be more profitable. You're confident enough with your selling. You just lack the skills. You just maybe want some direction and a framework. Marketing is bringing in new leads, but your conversions are shockingly low. The price. You're getting access to the complete sales and conversion system that has helped me to grow my clinic by 250% inside of 12 months. Cost me hundreds of thousands to figure out, and it's something that now we are working on with business owners who pay me thousands of dollars to work with them privately. My day rate now is $10,000 to work with clinics where we put these conversion systems into their business. The full value of the sales and conversions 2019 boot camp is $3,200. Really? 3 patients. In real terms, it's 3 patients that you will lose next year that I'll show you how to get. Willing to give that a go? 3 patients is all that you will need. It's the cost of 3 patients that you're losing right now by having your staff unable to answer the phone for you, or just you not getting it right because you don't have the confidence or the framework to do it. So 3 patients. Most of you will lose 3 patients this week. depending upon the size of your business. Most of you will lose between now and boot camp probably 10, 15, 20. Start to do the numbers on that, and you realize that $3,200 to come to a boot camp where I teach you for 2 full days. It's me on stage all weekend. I'll answer your questions, give you all the frameworks, we give you all the scripts. Literally, you'll physically get the scripts inside of a workbook where I'll solve your biggest problem and actually give you a chance to really explore this business of yours. I'm sure you're doing very well, and if this was the final nut that you just need to crack, this is your opportunity to get it. Depending upon what you're charging, 3 or 4 patients that you convert after boot camp that you lost. So it's not going to be 3,200 for you. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help you double your sales faster. If you're one of the first 25 to enroll, we'll knock $1,000 off the price for you. So basically, I want to give you $1,000 to put towards your airfare to Orlando and accommodation at the boot camp, right? $1,000 towards your airfare and your accommodation. Some of you will be able to fly business, put your feet up, enjoy the ride, check into a nice hotel. We're on Disney property. Use that $1,000 to do that. So it's 3 payments of just $799 if cash flow is not in the right direction for you, but you know you need to do this. Or 1 payment of just $2,200 to come to boot camp. It's an exclusive event. It's not open to the masses. We do limit numbers. There is a genuine workshop takes place, genuine training, lots of interaction with me. You'll get to work with me personally, ask me questions, come on the stage, or just kind of from the audience. This is a genuine workshop. It is genuine training, me training you and training your staff. Roughly 50% of the people bring their staff, so it's an amazing event. And the reason for bringing your staff, I think, is because they get to talk to others, members of staff who are there, who begin to buy in, and you form partnerships and friendships with other people that you can call upon further down the line. To bring a staff person, it's 50% reduction, maximum of 4, please. That's all we can take with your staff because the room will be packed. So we can't let you bring any more than 4. But you do get a 50% reduction for each additional person that you bring. So it's $1,000 to bring a front desk person who all they need to do is get 1 extra person that they otherwise would be losing, and you'll get your money back on that. Here's how confident I am in it. It's a $5,000 no risk guarantee. If by the end of day 1 you don't think that it'll be worth at least $5,000 to you, I'll give you your money back in full. The only exception is if you're flying from Tokyo business class. I'm not giving you your money back, but you get my point, right? Everybody else I will. Just don't abuse it. Don't upgrade yourself and think I'll go for a nice little weekend in Disney and then I'll just con Paul out of his money and get it back off him. But no, look, I'm serious. I've never done it yet, and nobody's ever asked for their money back. I will ask everybody at the end of day 1, and I will make it very easy for you to do it. You could walk and ask any member of my staff, and they will literally refund your money right there and then using the Infusionsoft system that will be in the room at that weekend. So that's how confident I am in this, that you will know that it's worth it. It's going to be worth at least $5,000 to you, and so confident I am. If you don't think it's worth $5,000 to you, I will give you your money back, and I'll pay for your flight. I'll give you your money back for the flight and for the hotel as well. So there's no risk to you. Come and enjoy the weekend. I'd go so far as to say it'll be worth $5,000 to you before Christmas. That's how confident I am in it. And I can get more bullish, if you like, with my claims, because now I've done this twice already. And that type of result is the norm. It's not out of the ordinary anymore. So I'll refund the cost of the airfare and 1 night's accommodation for you if at the end of day 1 you don't think that this is a good decision for you to have made. So you can't lose. Boot camp takes place Saturday and Sunday the 7th and 8th of December in a very sunny, beautiful Orlando. You'll get to come to my hometown. I'll welcome you in, and we are on Disney. Beautiful location on Disney, the Hilton Hotel overlooking downtown, or Disney Springs as it's called now. Step out of an evening, go and have a walk around Disney, feel the magic, and just enjoy it while you're there. So make a weekend of it. Maybe come down Friday, come and spend some time with us. I'll meet you at the bar on Friday evening. Most likely you'll bump into me at Disney anyway. I'm never too far away from that place. But yeah, 7th and 8th of December in sunny Orlando. We take 75 clinics because we have to account for you bringing your staff. 53 are already gone. so we're looking for 22. That's how it's going to look. It's me all weekend, and super smart businesses from all across the world. I'll go deep and teach you and solve your biggest problems on the front desk, in the treatment room, and help you basically convert more people, make more money. So that's how it looks when you get there. It's a big event, fabulous setup. Hotel is great. Smart PT clinic owners, like I said last year, Canada, Australia, Britain, Ireland, and where else last year? Australia. We had a guy in from Melbourne, all the way from Melbourne last year as well, whose ticket cost for his airfare was more expensive than what I was charging for the ticket. So how badly do you want to solve your problem? So here's how it looks. 8 incredible seminars that teach you how to optimize your system, compound effect, and how to build that into your business. The 5 levels of influence, plus how to use pre-framing strategy in all of your communication. 21 direct sales and conversion strategies, perfect for healthcare. Selling to serve, and the essential principles of what we call consultative selling. The top 7 objections to cash PT or paying out of pocket. Same thing. Phone calls. Give you the scripts for effortlessly converting your warm and cold leads. Seminar 7. We talk through scripts for discovery visits and initial consultations, getting to a completed plan of care every time. And in the final session, we talk about prices, raising drop-offs or stopping drop-offs and no-shows, and winning patient back. Some of what you learn, my promise to you, add at least $50 to your fees. The best way to convert prospects, finding you call from Google. What to do and then say when you get the awkward silence. Discovery visit successes, how to get more people over a full plan of care. The top 7 objections, I go deep into that for a full seminar on exactly what to say. To every single objection, you will know what to say, not just why it happens. I taught that in the book, why it happens, but I'll teach you what to say in every single one of those 7 objections, whether it's I'll think about it, I'll let you know, I'll tell you exactly what to say. In actual fact, I also teach you what to say to avoid it so that it doesn't become a problem. How to answer it without having to deal with it as such. What to ask or say to them if they ask you how much right off the bat. What to say if they keep asking, how much is it? I'm literally going to tell you what to say in all of these scenarios, as well as deep psychology of it all, so that you truly understand it. You'll feel liberated by the end of it when you realize that most people's problems are not what they're asking you. How or what to say to a patient before you tell them how you can help them. Talk about raising prices. Why never to talk about credentials or experience. It'll kill your conversions. All covered in depth. Talk about converting cold leads, selling the value on the phone to warm leads, converting at the initial consultation, converting from discovery visits, reselling the value of PT to drop-offs or no-shows, converting at workshops or when speaking at educational events. And some of what you leave with, scripts. We'll give you the scripts to take back to your office. New frameworks. If your staff don't like scripts, okay, sorry, we'll give them frameworks for training your staff. Higher fees, much higher fees, and unshakable confidence to handle these types of objections and questions. I'll train you, and I'll train your staff. That's really, again, what you'll leave with. If you don't want to train your staff, bring them, stick them in the room. You go to Disney for the weekend, and I'll train them for you, right? But you can't not train your staff. It is costing you an absolute small fortune. It is designed to give you all of the scripts, knowledge, and strategy, and confidence to raise your rates and convert all of the patients you'll ever need. Ultimate networking event. My events are attended by startups, medium-sized and multi-million-dollar businesses from all over the world. We've got now one of the biggest, if not the biggest, training companies on the planet for physical therapy business owners. So we really pull the best of the best, the creme de la creme, if you like, of clinic owners, real success-hungry business owners. They'll all be at the VIP drinks reception that I put on. That's exclusive on the Saturday evening. The drinks will be on me, and I'll give you free access to that if you enroll today. It gets better. I'm going to give you some free bonuses just to make this easy for you. I'll give you my 7 non-tech ways to get more cash paying patients. You'll get that immediately as soon as you sign up. $3, $4, $7 value. Shows you ways to improve your marketing so that when you ultimately get more leads, you're going to be able to convert more of them. And I'll also give you this, my new patients from community events blueprint, that will, again, give you more leads. Bootcamp is going to help you convert. These 2 programs are designed to get you more leads. So, recap, you're going to get VIP tickets to the More Sales, High Conversions 2-day bootcamp, plus access to the free drinks reception on networking included, 7 low-tech ways to immediately get more cash-paying patients, and the new patients from community events blueprint. I'm also going to give you this. I'll knock another $200 off for you. Let's call it an airfare or an upgrade. Treat yourself. Upgrade. Get some extra leg room, bottle of wine, fly business. There's an extra $200. Give yourself a room upgrade if you like. Get a suite overlooking Disney. You can see the lake from the hotel on Disney Springs. Spend the extra $200, either an airfare credit or an upgrade in your room. Save another $200 off the event and put it towards your airfare or an upgrade in a luxury hotel. All I ask is that you enroll before 11 o'clock Sunday. We want to get the class list sent off to the hotel so we can start putting it all together. Let's get this filled up by tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And if you enroll before 11 o'clock on Sunday the 27th, I'll give you an extra $200 off. Plus, just to make this really, really easy for you, I'm also going to give you 3 one-on-one sales training coaching calls with my front desk trainer. So Barry is our sales trainer. He works with, like I said, 430 businesses we work with. A huge amount of the work that we do is with them on this type of thing. He works one-on-one with my mastermind clients, literally works one-on-one with them or their team. We've got all of that for you as well. So come to boot camp, work with me, get all of the principles and scripts, and then what I'll do is I'll give you 3 one-hour sessions with Barry, who will train you and your team to hammer home all of everything that I teach. I'm dedicated to your success, and I want no excuses at all ever that this couldn't or didn't or wouldn't work for you. We know how important it is for you to be able to convert, and we know that it's the path, it's the way, if you like, for more profit in your business. It's frustrating when you can't convert leads, so we're going to do everything that we can. So come to boot camp. You'll get me for 2 days, and then after boot camp, assuming that you sign up on this webinar in the next 5 minutes, I'll give you the 3 one-on-one coaching calls. For obvious reasons, I can't give it to everybody, which is why I can't do it after the webinar when we'll put the price back up and so on. But if you help me out, we can get this class list filled up as fast as possible. I'll give you a lot of Barry's time, and Barry can help you with training your front desk on how to put into play everything that I teach you at bootcamp. So we'll work with you personally, one-on-one. If you value the one-on-one stuff as well as the big group setting, this is the absolute perfect scenario. Nearly $1,000 worth of value. It's $300 an hour that we charge for that type of coaching. Plus, I'm going to give you some videos to give to your staff right away. A video that I give all of my team whenever they join conversion lifecycle video training. Before anybody answers the phone in my office, they must watch that video. I'll give you the scripts that we use to convert cold leads from Facebook and Google. I'll give you the psychoanalysis training tool video that all of my team must watch regularly. So just stuff to train your team. It's constant in my world, and I'm sure it is in yours. If you just had the material, maybe it would make life better. And I'll give you the exact scripts that Vicky and my team back in my physio business use to overcome every objection I've ever had since we have been in business. What you'll always find with me, I'm a learner. I'm sat here right now in Fort Lauderdale. There's the balcony, if you like, at an event for 3 days learning. I'm not bad at selling. We're doing okay at selling, but I always want to know more. So my scripts are always being refined, and I'm always finding new ways. And I'll always share that at bootcamp, which is why people actually come back. Some people will be coming for the 3rd time this year because I always have something new to present and a new way of understanding how to get better at conversions. And this is it. This is the last thing I'm giving you. If you were tempted at $200, you're going to have about 5 minutes to do this. So please tell your wife or husband you will not be around on 7th and 8th of December, or ask them if they would like to come to Walt Disney World with you because you're going to Orlando. I'm going to give you another $300 off. You've got 15 minutes from the minute we put this into the chat. The price will drop by another $300. Type into the order form 300 sale. 300 sale, and it'll drop to $1,700, but the code expires in 15 minutes. Well, in fact, less. Sorry, I'm running over. It expires at 2:30 Eastern, so you've got probably 14 minutes to do this. So it brings the total price down if you enroll right now to $1,700. Remember, you can't get it wrong. You're covered by the no risk guarantee. I believe in you. I believe in the event. $5,000 money back guarantee. If you don't think the event is worth $5,000 to you, I'll give you your money back, and I'll pay for your airfare and 1 night's accommodation. That is how confident and how, keyword, certain I am that this will change your life. This will give you the confidence. Instead of dreading the phone ringing, you will embrace that phone ringing. And instead of going into work every day knowing that your front desk haven't converted again, they'll be trained to do it properly. Is that worth $1,700 of your money? Is that worth 2 days of your life to come to Disney World, for crying out loud? I'm not taking you to Nebraska or somewhere like that. I mean, forgive me if you're from Nebraska, but I'm not dragging you to Nebraska in December. I'm now flying you upgraded to Disney World, Orlando, to come and learn how to solve the biggest problem. I can't put it on a bigger silver plate for you to do it. We're going to have a lot of fun as well, by the way. It's a great weekend. The only catch, you must enroll while I'm still on this webinar if you want those additional bonuses. So to be clear, right now the price is $1,700 and you'll get the bonus. The minute that I leave this webinar and my lesson starts in 11 minutes with Grant, it will be $2,200. So you can save $500 and potentially at this rate, get the most luxurious room in the entire hotel. So recap. In total, all of the bonuses that you are getting are worth more than $1,500, and you're covered by my $5,000 no risk, 100% profitability guarantee. If you are ready, Amy, if you can put this into the chat for me, please, in just a moment. Not yet. What always happens, so we have still 493 of you still on the webinar. Everybody goes to the page, it often crashes. People start checking out and people start using their codes and all sorts of stuff. If there's any problems, my team are in England and in America. Send an email to paul@paulgough.com. If you are having problems, you might want to check with your bank just to make sure that they are okay. And tell them that the charge will come from Paul Gough Media LLC for $1,700. And you will be able to get this seat taken care of, get your flights booked to Orlando this afternoon, and I look forward to welcoming you to sunny Florida. So here we go. Get ready, please, team, and everybody calm. If there's any problems, we'll take care of it for you. We can see that you're trying to check out. Please head over to ptprofitacademy.com/sales, and I look forward to working with you in Orlando to solve the biggest problem that you've got. Remember, if you're sitting on the fence, that fence is uncomfortable, but it's not as painful as another year where you're losing money. You are literally losing money if you don't fix this front desk problem and this conversion problem in the treatment room. So please, 9 more. What have I got? 12 minutes. I've got to go. So the bonuses are good for another 10 or 11 minutes, and the extra $300 discount, the code is there for you all, 300 sale, that gets you over the line. Come to Orlando. You will be in a room with very, very, very smart clinic owners, some very fledgling businesses, some more experienced. We'll have cash pay businesses. One of the great things about doing seminars is not just do you get real breakthroughs because you're concentrating non-stop for 2 days, which is why I do this. I don't teach this one online. I teach this one in the room because I need your attention. It's that important. We're going to work together for 2 days. I can train you and I can train your staff. And as an absolute added bonus for some, it is the reason for coming. You get out of your clinic. You get a great weekend in Orlando, where most places are very cold. Orlando will be 75 degrees in December and the sun shines. You get to meet up with other businesses just like you. And for many, that is what is actually worth the trip out of your office. Get away from everything that's going on in your business and your life. Come to Orlando for a beautiful weekend. Come and learn how to sell. Go and enjoy Disney World. And I'll show you the sights of my favorite area. Downtown Disney Springs is where we spend most of our time with the kids, certainly at least once a week. So type into the chat, Orlando, Ben and Jessica are in. Good for you. Well done. Well done. Type into the chat the minute that you've enrolled, and I'll get this, we'll get the confirmation off to you straight away. We'll get these bonuses off. Enjoy the price drop. It's going to go back up. For full context, you will be able to enroll for another 2 or 3 weeks, but the price will be $500 more than it is right now. And we never ever go back on that. Once that's it, that's done. Alex is in. Nice work, Alex. Good. Look forward to seeing you in Orlando. Let's get you over the line. Let's get everybody there. Take advantage of the offer and the savings. Choose your payment plan if you need it. James, the coupon code is is it promotional field? I think you go to the order form and it's in promo field or coupon code, something like that on the order form, you use it there, and the price will drop by $300, which either reduces the 1-pay option or reduces the 3-pay option for you as well, whichever. Take advantage of it. Get your confirmation email. I'll send you your bonus videos, and we'll get going. We'll see you in Orlando. We'll start putting the class list together. You get a full workbook as well that you work through each day with me, and I'll solve the biggest problem that you've got. For many of you, that phone is going to ring. $1,700 is the fee to come to Sales Bootcamp right now. You're going to lose that this week. I'm just going to leave that there. You're going to lose that this week. You're going to do that this week. Uzoma, no plans to do it in the UK. There will be at least 10 people there from the UK. Orlando is a very easy destination to get to from most places in the world, which is why I chose it. Not because of the fact that I live there and I can roll out of bed and be there in 10 minutes, of course. Legitimately, it's very easy. It's a major international airport that, believe it or not, Uzoma, there's a very good chance that you'll get a cheaper flight to Orlando from England than most Americans will into Orlando. It is that cheap to get to Orlando. So I'm going to say it again. $1,700 is the fee to come to boot camp right now. You will likely lose that this week in not being able to convert a patient. And if you've lost that this week, you'll probably lose it next week and the week after and the week after. If nothing changes, nothing changes. If you've got something on that weekend, that's okay. Move it. Simple as that. That's what successful people do. We move them. If I need to be somewhere, I need to be somewhere. It's for the greater good of the family. It's for the greater good of everything. My kids, their college fund, their school education will not come cheap. And if they want the best education, Daddy has to make some decisions like spending 3 days in Fort Lauderdale right now rather than spending it in Disneyland with them. That's what we have to do as business owners. As business owners, James, I'll tell you what we'll do, James. Just enroll in the $2,000, James, and I'll credit you $300. Caitlin, if you can't find it, just help him out. James, just enroll, and we'll just instantly credit $300 back. Like, let's stop the going back and forth. Done. Perfect. Sweet. There you go. Nice work, Caitlin. Well done. James, good work. And James, I love the tenacity that you did it anyway. Well done. But we'd have just credited it back for you, so no problem. So yeah, look, even if you've got something on that weekend, move it. Bring them. Bring the family. Gee, what a great excuse to bring your family to Disney World. Come and learn, have a lot of fun. This is what being in business is about. You've watched my story. If any of you follow me closely, I'm a family guy at heart. I take my kids everywhere. 9 out of 10 times, my kids traveling with me over the last 4 or 5 years on this journey that I've been. Can't miss them. Bring them with you. Bring them with you. Simple as that. My kids' ass will sit on the flight next to me, no problem at all. Bring the kids. Bring Natalie. Natalie, you want to go to Orlando? Hell yeah. You want to bring the kids? Hell yeah. We're going to go and learn how to make some more money. That'll pay for the whole thing. That's the mindset that you need as well. So the offer stands for another 3 minutes. You know that you want to grow your business. And by the way, I should have asked, if you have any objections or questions or concerns, please type them into the chat and I will answer them for you right now. Type into the chat your concerns and questions and I will do my best to answer them for you. Please don't sit there. Let's get you moving. Let's get you signed up and come into Orlando to solve your clinic's #1 problem, conversions. 3 minutes left to use 300 sale. After that, the price goes back up. But please, if you have questions, use me while I'm here. Happy to answer any questions that you have. And I'll look forward to getting to see you in Orlando. I'll meet you face to face. We'll have a beer together on the Friday evening or the Saturday evening, and you can tell me a little bit more about yourself. Tell me a bit more about where you're from, what your story is, what your background is, what your clinic is, where you're, where you're headed, what your plans are. I look forward to very much getting to know you and work with you personally. To do any form of growth in any business, you need to get better at selling and converting. Don't let a small thing like an airplane get in the way. Don't let a small thing like a little bit of discounts get in the way of that. Yes, Justine, just send an email now to Caitlin for any mastermind member who's on here. Yes, you'll be pleasantly surprised, Justine. So just send a quick email to Caitlin, and she'll take care of that for you. What this could do for you? Well, here's what it did for Jake. In less than 12 months, we went from a small space in a rented facility, charging $145 and struggling to convert to 300% growth, to buying his own space. In fact, I should have updated that. I did that a few months ago. Jake's now at $295. Carrie, 3 price rises inside 12 months, 0 noticeable pushback. Started with us before bootcamp at $150 and is now at $225, about to go to $250. Allowed Carrie to go from a solo to having a larger premises and having staff in that business for her. Everything comes, all the growth that you want comes from your ability to charge higher prices and convert more patients. If you're stuck right now, you're not, I'm going to say this to you, you're stuck. You're stuck. There's no money. If there's no money coming in, there's no money for marketing, and there's no money for new premises, and there's no money for better staff. Where does that money come from? It comes from higher prices. How do you charge higher prices? Learning how to sell. That's it. Nothing else. Don't go screwing around on YouTube looking for any more answers. Don't be signing up for cheaper courses. Don't be doing anything that distracts you. That's it. If you're stuck, nothing is going to change. If it's been stuck for 3 months, you're stuck. And you're stuck because you don't know how to sell at a higher price. The price dictates everything. The number of people that you convert and the price that you convert at dictates your life. Come to Orlando. Come to Orlando to learn how to do it. Kevin went from $150 to $250 per visit in 12 months. He went from a solo practitioner working 50 hours to business owner with 3 staff working 30 hours a week. So I literally am leaving in the next minute. Any questions or concerns, send them to Caitlin or Amy at paulgough.com. I've got to get back to class, but this is the last minute. I'll give you the final 2 slides. The coupon's going to disappear in the next few minutes. Head over to the page, choose your payment plan, get your confirmation email, open your bonus video programs, and start profiting right away. What will it do? It'll make your PT business strong, safe, and secure in 2020 in an uncertain, unpredictable, probably volatile healthcare environment with the added pressures of rising monthly costs and patient contributions. It will make your life better than ever, less stress, less struggle, less frustration, less financial vulnerability, and more certainty over your income goals. It will ultimately give you the ultimate thing that we're all looking for, more autonomy. It will give you the scripts to convert at higher prices, a framework to answer objections, and the confidence to charge whatever fees you want. Give you everything you need to take back to your office staff to help them sell more for you, or bring them and I'll train them how to do it. Set you up for success in 2020 and beyond without having to spend more money on marketing. Ultimately, speed up solving your biggest problem and you'll be able to get going first time around. I'll end this, and I'm off in 2 seconds, by reminding you that income follows assets, and learning how to sell and convert is one of the greatest assets you will ever have. So head over ptprofitacademy.com/sales, choose your payment plan, get your email, and I'll see you in Orlando. If you want a business that is strong, safe, and secure, you want your life better than ever, and you want to finally put an end to the sinking feeling that comes with them asking you the insurance or the price question, I'll teach you how to do that in Orlando. Seriously, last chance, nothing to lose, $5,000 guarantee. You can't keep saying that you're unhappy in your business if you're not willing to do anything about it. That's what I believe. I just think that if people are whinging and whining and they're not happy, do something about it. And if you're not, stop whinging. That's simple. I'm giving you a golden ticket to come to Orlando. I'll get to work with you and your team, and we'll fix this all for you inside 2 days. Congrats to everybody that signed up. Well done. I'm excited to see you and put to bed your biggest challenge. If you haven't joined us, you get the next 2 or 3 weeks to make that decision. And I'm going to leave you with this. If that phone rings this week even once and you couldn't convert, promise me you'll come to boot camp. Because if you do it this week, it'll happen the week after, it'll happen the week after, and it'll happen the week after. It's going to cost you by next week more than it is to come to boot camp. What are you waiting for? Promise me. If you're not going to enroll right now and that phone rings this week and you didn't convert that person, that you will come to Orlando. I can't give you the discounted fees, but I can maybe have a seat waiting for you in Orlando. It's that important. Nothing is going to change in your life. I'm committed, so committed to you and your success. I'll make it foolproof for you when you get there. There's nothing can go wrong. You can't lose your money. You're going to lose more money this week by not coming to boot camp. Just a thought. promise me that if that phone rings this week and you can't convert, this British accent will register in your head, and you'll get to ptprofitacademy.com/sales, and you'll register a seat for bootcamp. At that moment, the price will be irrelevant to you. You'll be so pissed with yourself. You'll be so frustrated. You'll have done the math and work out how much that's going to cost you, which probably for most people in 2020 is going to be tens of thousands of dollars. So it's up to you. Anyway, I'll see you on Saturday, 7th of December in Orlando, where we'll put this all into your business. We'll get to work with some very smart business owners in Orlando. Right, I've got to go. I'm late. I really do have to go. So thank you for everybody, and I will see you all soon. Thanks for your time. I always appreciate it. Always enjoy doing these webinars for you. Hope to get to work with you a little more at Sales Bootcamp in December. See you soon.